Trollord Games. Join the fray. Trollord Games. Join the fray.
That's true, no subtlety. All right, and we should be live if somebody wants to check the stream. This is Sam. I'm your castle keeper for the evening, and I'm here with 4 of my awesome players. 2 of them will be late this evening in various at various times. They'll show up based on real life stuff they had to take care of. So, who wants to introduce themselves? Matt.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt. I am playing Trip, who is a primal druid gnome.
I'm Richard. I'm playing Bernie, a human fighter, big axe, ready to kill some goblins.
I'm George. I'm playing Elgar, the Divine Knight, and he's looking to take on a few 100,000 goblins.
Excellent.
See? We can't even count them.
And I'm Robert playing, I think tonight, Garrick, the Dwarven Skald, who's trying to get more kills and get there first before Bernie.
A smorgasbord of XP ahead of us.
So who wants to do the very quick recap?
I don't think George does. Bernie, you want to do it?
Oh, gosh. I'll try. You guys may have to help fill in here. We had gone out in the woods and wound up in an underground in a tomb that had like a throne in it, and and we had had some bad luck with fighting spiders and stuff in there. So we'd spent the night there, and did a long rest at least. I don't know whether it was actually night or not, and got ourselves kind of healed back up. And we had a pool in that room, and it had some gems in it, and we were planning on getting those. And we knew, because we had messed with it the day before, that there was a rather large crab in that pool, kind of hidden from view, waiting to come out and kill anyone who tried to get those gems. So we, in the middle of the night, I had watched, and I heard laughter and splashing in that room. And there had been no people down there and nobody in that room. So I went over and peeked, and I saw the woman that had been floating in the temple over on that we came out of when we went in the mushroom. And the one that charmed me, and the Hobbit was with me, and he got charmed and was chasing the food down that she had made him think was there. So I grabbed him, put him under my arm, let him squill a little, and got the heck out of there. And we went back the next day, and she was gone. And we set ourselves up with some long poles and stuff, and got the crab to come out, threw it some dead spiders to eat. And when it came out to eat them, we attacked it. We were able to kill it, and then we were able to retrieve the gems on the bottom of the pool. Some were worth some pretty good money. One of them was magical and was quite large. And after that, we kind of wrapped up our adventures there in that little tomb, and headed back to town. And as we were approaching town, we saw that it was on fire.
I think the only thing you might have missed is we found that little secret room that
yeah, we did. Yeah,
George found, and inside there was some kind of spear trap and a dead body and amphora.
And we did pick up that amphora, and there were some vials in there, potions, I think.
And no, that was the one before.
Oh
that.
No, were the gloves in there?
Was that it? Did we find the gloves last episode?
No, the gloves were the episode before.
Oh yeah, they were before. They were in the.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's basically what we got.
And then you left the Barrow Mound, and what happened? Nothing. Everybody just went back to town, no problem.
Well, as I said, we got back to town, or we got back towards town, and we found it on fire, and the goblins there.
Okay. Anything else?
And so, I can't remember if we had. Did we have anything happen after we left the tomb?
No, I don't think so. I was just seeing if there's anything else that that you had in your notes or anything that I did not have. So, okay. So let me reiterate the current state of things, because one of the things that you're going to have to do is decide on your course of action. Okay. So right now you are traveling toward Indelofen, the town. And from this vantage point, you see so much smoke billowing and out from the roofs of buildings in town that you're convinced that probably 50 to 60% of the wooden structures in town are on fire. They're actively burning. And there's so much thick smoke billowing into the sky. And you're approaching from the walled section of town, right? You're on the walled side of town. So it's really difficult for you to see exactly everything that's happening. So you really don't know how many goblins are inside the town. But you count at least 30 of them trying to climb the wall,
Okay, sorry guys.
Or breach the wall. And you also see some swimming down the Indelark River, or walking down along the road on the other side of the river. They're walking toward town, or sort of running. Okay, they're walking in a 2x2 line of force, so they are organized. All right. The ones at the wall look to be working in small organized groups of between 5 and 8 goblins apiece. You do see that around the Abbey, because if you look at the Owlbear Rodeo map, what you'll see is that the Abbey is on a hill, and the Abbey therefore sits higher than the wall, and you can actually see people. You can actually see people running around, but you also see that there's a bunch of goblins up there wreaking havoc and destroying the building and whatnot. You also see near this, because you are coming from this direction, and this watchtower gatehouse area right here, you see that gate is open, and what you see beyond that gate is a larger creature, maybe possibly an ogre or a troll of some sort, like big like that, okay? And you can't really tell exactly what it is because it's not facing you, but it's built like an ogre or a troll, and it has a basket on its back. It's almost like a backpack, and in the basket is some sort of goblin creature. It's a goblin-sized creature riding in it. Okay, that goblin has a staff and is sort of moving its arms and vigorously pointing as if it's directing things. So it's pretty clear to you, if you're paying attention, that that one's probably the leader of some sort. You can't see the castle directly. You know, Baron Kraystock has a castle. You can't see it; it's too far from you, and it's even though it's it's at a higher elevation than the walls, because the hill that the Abbey is on is obscuring your view of the actual castle. There does seem to be an absence of smoke in that area, though, so you're pretty sure it's not on fire. Of course, most of its structure is stone, but it does have some wooden structures within the walls of the castle, so you're not really sure what's going on there. You do also see, unfortunately, several boats full of people that you're assuming are townsfolk that are in the boats, traveling in the bay to try to get out of town, basically. So, and hello, Chris. Welcome to the game.
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys. That's all right. That's okay. I'm catching up.
Yep. I told the audience at the beginning that you would be along shortly. So, do you want to introduce yourself real quick, and I will move the tags around so that you're labeled.
Oh, okay, sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Chris, and I'm playing Leonese, who is an Orlu, so an elf, basically an elf as a character.
Excellent. And so now the question is, what would everybody like to do?
Kill some goblins.
First question I have is, did anyone take the gloves or try them on?
I thought somebody did.
I thought we had the gloves were on somebody.
I think our hunter, our bowman, Alex, put them on.
Oh,
Gil took
maybe.
them.
Yeah. Gil took them. Okay.
Because then he could just swap them out to Bert.
Yes, that's right.
I think we should capture one or two of the goblins and then retreat to a more secure location.
Why are we capturing 2 or 3 of the goblins?
To find out what happened here, where they came from.
What are you going to find out from goblins? The goblins came and they overran the town. Happens all the time.
What their plan is. Are they going to take over the town, or are they moving on?
Of course they're moving on.
Sure. We'll just take out the guy goblin on the big thing up there.
I think we should capture one or two of the goblins and then retreat. Somebody's got to echo.
Yeah, that was, I think, the stream.
That was the stream coming through.
We should just take out that goblin looks like it's in charge. You want to capture one? That's the one to capture.
He's riding a giant 20-foot ogre.
Yeah, bring it like that.
Million ogre. That should be no problem.
Well, I think we can capture him, but that's probably that little squirt that turned into smoke on us before.
Turn into smoke?
Or goo.
Yeah, he's maybe. We've got Eldritch. We are fully rested right at this point.
No.
No?
We haven't rested at all.
Oh, okay, so then I have used them.
Yeah, so we're still out of spells, and
Okay.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I think we should either head to Half Hill, or
I think Half Hill's gone.
Yeah, but it might be empty of goblins, so we can get some rest.
Do we see any smoke?
It'll be a nice warm bed.
Do we see any smoke from the direction of Half Hill?
Not. It's hard to tell if there is any smoke from the Half Hill area adding to the enormous cloud of smoke that is above you right now.
You say it was nighttime? We're getting nighttime?
It is early evening.
Is there any kind of glow from that direction?
Not really. No.
Fires?
Oh, that's right.
No.
That's right. Leonese needs to go training when we get back and clear everybody. Yeah. So Leonese wants to go get rid of the goblins. Come on, I need to go training.
Does that stop everyone's training too?
Well, right now Gil is worried, and Gil is going to take off towards Half Hill. He's going to skirt the forests and try to stay hidden because he doesn't want the goblins coming after him. But he's going to go check on Half Hill. So you can either follow him to Half Hill, or you can try to skirt around, wait for the column of goblins to pass, and try to get across the river to go try to see if the farmsteads are okay, or you can hit the town head on, or you can try to, pretty much any option is open. You can try to get the people who are the refugees leaving town, get them to come with their boats over toward you, and you can talk to them. And there's any number of things that you can do. In terms of training, you don't know where everyone is, so it's hard to say whether,
My apologies, that's an after-game comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I'm going to use this again.
So they're organized goblins. Is that common or highly uncommon? What we may know about goblins.
So, the experience that you've had with them directly has been the experience in-game here. And they were small bands organized, but not organized militaristically, if you know what I mean. They were more like chaotic bands of creatures just trying to live, right? Yeah. This group seems a little bit different.
Trip has extensive knowledge of kobolds and goblins.
Does he?
His combat expertise is kobolds and goblins.
Okay. So generally speaking, what Trip knows is that regular run-of-the-mill goblins, they do work in small groups, and they form into larger tribes, but their nature is so undirected or misdirected that they have a very hard time creating a hierarchy that lasts any length of time. And in order to have a very good militaristic organization, you have to be able to adhere to a hierarchy. So unless a goblin has a sort of a stronger group come in and take over and become the head of that goblin tribe, they're basically, I don't want to say harmless because they can cause a lot of damage, but they have a hard time organizing. This group that you're looking at traveling in a 2x2 line down the road and coming down the river and attacking the wall consistently, despite the fact that the wall has not yet fallen, is different from any knowledge that you have had about the way goblins actually naturally act. If there was a goblin that was trying to break down a wall that did not have a boss around telling it to keep trying, they might work for a little while and then they'd get bored and say, let's just try to find a way around, or let's just climb over. And then that's what they would do. They would not consistently keep performing the behavior that they're performing if it's not working. They're very much instant gratification creatures, right? They see that fish, they want to jump in the river and find that fish to eat it. They see that, that apple in the tree, they're going to climb the tree to grab the apple to eat it, right? They're not going to plan extensively and host a true invasion, not without some leaders. So basically there has to be something that's leading them and directing them that is strong enough to keep them on task.
So Triple tell everybody else, a goblin army this size would need an incredibly strong leader, someone very organized to keep the warring tribes together. It's not the time to charge in there without a plan. We need to regroup and become stronger.
So typically they act impulsively?
Yes.
All right.
Well, I see we have a couple options. I want to save the town now. We can try and get more information from the people fleeing. We could try and get into the gate tower and try and secure it to stop the flooding, seeing as the walls aren't down. Or we would flee, or try to go along the wall to the river and get in that way in the backside. I don't like the idea of trying to cross the river. What do you guys think?
Is Rekmit's brother from Indelofen also? I can't remember.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask, where would these people be going if they were fleeing? Do you know?
I believe there is a town along the coast farther south or east or west. I'll look here.
There are a couple of towns to the south, but generally speaking, any attack would most of the time see people going to the Baron's castle to wait out the attack, right?
Okay, so...
Yeah.
This is typically not... Usually they would go to the castle, so I don't know what's going on. This is definitely different. They probably are trying to flee either along the coast to another town, or I don't know. Nothing else close other than a couple of towns.
So Leonese is wondering, so if they're not fleeing to the castle, either it is cut off, or the Baron is part of this, which seems unlikely.
Not if you have Elgar.
Well, I mean, he thinks he's some big thing or other. I don't get him, but he thinks he's such a big guy. Let him take care of it himself.
I mean, the thing is, this is an organized group of goblins.
Yeah. I mean,
we got to do something. We got to do something. We can't just let this happen.
I don't think we have much choice. I mean, I think it's already happened. I mean, about the only thing I could think of is if we could get down to the water and get a small boat in, we might be able to go up and do something like take the bridges out.
No, I'm thinking we go down and let's go talk to some of the ones fleeing and just let's get an understanding of what happened.
Yeah, let's either do that or let's try and close the gates.
I mean, see, I don't think they're going to know what happened. Goblins showed up. We got in the boat and got the heck out of here.
They're going to know more than we know. They're going to know how this all started for some extent. So let's go do something. Let's do it.
60% of the town is already on flames. There's nothing our small party can do, especially as exhausted as we are.
Garrick heads to the shore. He ain't waiting anymore. We're not attacking. He's going to head to the shore and try and flag a boat down.
I'm going to head to Halfhill with Gil.
Yeah, I'll do that, I guess.
So let's arrange to meet at Half Hill.
See what information you can find.
Yeah, Leonese will come down. Sure. Make sure that place is safe.
What does Elgar think?
I think we should find out a little bit of information about the attack. So, or at least press on a little bit. Just for, I think we're not going to lose all that much by going down to talk to them. We may gain information, we may not. So I think it's something definitely to investigate. And I don't think it's going to take all night. I think it might just only be, maybe from where we're at down there and back, maybe like an hour or two. Probably, it's a mile or so that we're away from them. Maybe a 2-mile walk down to the shore.
Yeah, you're not that far from the shore actually, but you're about 3-4 miles from town.
Yeah, maybe we can get someone on a boat or something.
Yeah, the idea is to try and flag someone down on the boat.
How close would a boat be coming to where we get to the shore here? I mean, I don't even think we could catch one of these boats to talk to anyone. And I doubt if they have any information. I mean, if you want to fight them, let's go fight them.
Well, we might run into a patrol. That's maybe the best thing that we have going for us on that front. But again, we can't fight 30 of them.
No, but we could kill that ogre that their commander's riding in, and that's pretty disruptive to them. Maybe we can get him have to turn back into goo, and then they're without a leader.
I look at Bernie and I go, I think one hit from that ogre will kill one of us.
Okay.
Easily.
But we could kill him.
But one of us would die.
It happens. That's war.
Leonese is like, come on, let's meet in Half Hill. We'll go down. Let's go and see what's happening, and let's see what information we can get.
Gil and I will go there and secure a lodging.
And she'll follow down to the shore.
I don't think you'll secure any lodging, but there we might be able to help some people.
And we could rest.
Be prepared to fight, because they're going to be at Half Hill, and they're coming up and down that road from Half Hill.
Yeah, so me and Gil and we'll kind of take very big precaution to stay hidden. Very cautious movements up toward Half Hill. But if we see an opportunity to maybe snag one goblin prisoner, we might jump on that.
I mean, I'll give you guys the option. I'm willing to go with you, but you may feel like you're more secure moving tiny and quiet than with me.
It is true. I can move through the woods like the wind.
Okay.
And
Okay,
our
so
friends may need your strength.
So Trip and Gil are going to Half Hill. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Yep.
And what are Garrick, Leonise, Bernie, and Elgar doing?
Plan is to try and flag down one of the boats, head down to the coast.
Hey, how are we planning on flagging down these boats? How far are they from the coast? How far are they from us?
You're about 3-4 miles from town, right? And
Okay.
you can see them out leaving, going away from town in the bay.
Okay, are they sailing like straight out away from it, or are they skirting the coast? What are they doing?
They're skirting the coast. They're in little boats. They're not trying to go far away.
And do we see them heading south?
Yeah, a couple of them are heading south. Some of them are heading north.
Okay. All right. So we could cut some off at the coast that are heading south. Might have to run.
Okay, so who is going to do that?
Well, I guess all four of them.
Okay.
Garrick's already wading into the water trying to get a hold of someone.
Yep.
One of the boats.
While that's happening, I'm going to keep a lookout make sure we don't attract the wrong attention. I'll have arrow knocked.
Yeah, I'll help keep watch out too.
As soon as the talk started to look like everyone was going to flee and go to Half Hill and leave the town alone, Garrick just stomped towards the shore all grumpy. Tried to get someone on the boat.
Okay.
He didn't argue anymore, he just headed off.
Okay, so what are you doing to try to get the attention of the boats?
How far away is it when I get to the shore and wade in a few feet?
Let me throw the map up here.
I'm a giant crab.
I know nothing about a giant crab.
Yeah, I just realized my name was Giant Crab. Oh, wait, still Giant Crab. There we go.
Alright, so let me get this map on here. So if we look at this map here, okay, so here is the map that, so you came out basically where this blue dashed line is right here, okay? So you're on the road right here. Let me put an X on there. You're right here. Whoops, that was a mistake. Sorry. Trying to put a line, not a circle.
We are big people.
You're right here.
Hey, well, we can deal with the people, the goblins.
Yeah, just squash them. Stomp.
Okay, so you're still like a mile and a half now because you've been moving this whole time. So,
So we're at, like, what, quarter of a mile, if that, from the coast.
Yeah, not even, maybe.
So that'd be an advantage. Are there cliffs here or hills, or is it kind of just sloped down to
It slopes down. There is a small sort of bank, and then there's probably, a couple 100 feet of beach. It's actually very beachy and tropical. It's like
perfect,
because it's like a Caribbean island.
Exactly. Oh, wonderful. So we can get down the beach and at least we're off the road.
Except in the Arctic.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to try to get their attention, though?
How far off ashore are they? Are they like a half mile out, or are they just a few hundred yards, or where are they?
They're a couple 100 yards, but they're trying to move away. They're coming down the coast, but they're, they're out far enough that they don't beach themselves accidentally, right?
Right.
So we could wave at them and just wave them.
Wave and splash a little bit.
I guess get down the embankment and set up watch there, kind of obscured and hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So, Elgar is going to reach into his pouch and pull out a small steel mirror and kind of reflect it back and forth, trying to get their attention with that. Flashing light back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And
whatever
light. If there's not enough sunlight, Garrick will light up a torch. I mean, he'll take the risk, and then you can use that light to reflect out there.
Yeah.
And maybe if the rest of you just line up behind us and kind of block the sight, maybe the goblins won't see it if it's not dark enough. They are focused on the town.
If you guys are doing that, then Leonise will be ready with her bow and be keeping watch.
Are there any... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you going to ask?
I was going to ask if there's like any decent-sized rocks or shells or anything close to the shore we could try and throw out there to at least get someone's attention along with the light to get a splash or something.
So the danger that you run into is if they can't see you clearly, all they see is fire on the shore. Right? So if they're afraid, they might not come to you. they might go away from you.
We've got an elf. What have we got? I've lost track of who we've got down here.
You have yourself and a dwarven skald, a human divine knight, and a human fighter.
Okay, so clearly not goblins.
Correct.
It's not like there's anybody. I just can't remember what we had yet. The small people went away, so okay.
I suppose that's one way to say it, yes.
I mean, Garrick's not the biggest, but he is broad and doesn't look like a goblin.
Yeah.
No pointy ears, lots of hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me make a roll here and see what happens. There is a percentage chance that they will, out of fear, not come towards you. Okay, so a couple of the boats start moving away from the shore, but one of them starts coming towards you. And
Okay.
as
as loud as I can, try and shout, like, hey, people of Indelofen, what's going on? We don't know what's happening in town.
Yeah, we do.
as as the boat gets closer, you see that it is a relatively small boat, and it is jam-packed with people. It has about 8 people in it. It's a small rowboat with 8 people standing in it. There's 2 people sitting, one in the front, one in the back, and 8 people standing in between them, and there's a couple of people hanging on to the sides. There's so many people on this boat, it's in danger of, capsizing and sinking, toppling over, what have you. You probably recognize some of the people. Just gotta make myself a note about who's on the boat here.
Yeah, if I sort of recognize them, I'll kind of say gently yell it or whatever so they can hear. Said, hey, it's Garrick from Sourbeard Farm. What's going on? Why didn't you go to the pavilion?
So the people on the boat, one of the people is actually the portmaster, Alder Helliot. The butcher, the town butcher is on there. His name is Kirk Inzo. The proprietor of Willem's Finery and his wife are on the boat. And the master brewer Zelgel and his 2 assistants Emmett and Frederick are on the boat. And then there are about 4 people that you don't recognize. And then there are a couple of other townsfolk that you recognize but don't know well are also there. So, these are frightened townsfolk leaving. So the thing is that they are, let me see if I can, let's get this town map back. So all of these people, if you take a look at this map here, all of these people are from this upper side of town right here. Okay. So all this area right next to the castle basically is who's on that boat. And they tell you that they actually saw this group of people coming towards town, far off in the distance. And they tried to, at first when they looked, they didn't see anything wrong with it, right? They just thought, oh, it's a group of people coming towards town. They thought maybe they were coming from Half Hill, and they had heard rumors about goblins raiding Half Hill, so they thought, oh, there's a bunch of halflings coming from Half Hill down here. So they actually told, this is how Alder Heliot, the portmaster, found out what was happening, because Willem and his wife saw this column of people coming towards them and told the portmaster, right? Told the portmaster. And he went and sent one of his messengers to go tell the Baron, hey, there's some refugees or something coming here. But then, as soon as that word started getting around and the column of individuals started getting closer, they started moving faster towards the group. And then they saw there are actually people in the water. And then, to their horror, they realized this is not a friendly group from Half Hill. And from the moment they saw the far-off people to the time when they decided the best thing to do is to get in a boat and get out into the bay, there was only about 20 minutes between that time, because when they saw the people coming down, there was already an incursion occurring at the southern gate near the wall, and they had already started burning the tenements and some of the fishing buildings on the other side. So the place closest to where all of you are right now is actually the first point of entry that they made. So it's almost like they caused a distraction up north by kind of slowly coming forward until they got word that now it's time to rush in. And so to the townsfolk, what they're describing is it seemed like all at once they were completely surrounded. It's like the goblins came from all directions, and they didn't fight people. They ran away from people and ran around people and started setting everything on fire. Then when people would flee, they would try to intercept them.
Yeah.
Shut her really quick. Any word from the Baron? And where are you going?
The Baron, his guard gave the order for all of the militia to muster and try to fight them off and protect the town. But by the time it happened so quick, it happened so fast, and they're saying that we were overwhelmed all of a sudden, and every militia member was already trying to gather their, muster out and fight, and then they didn't know what to do, whether they should fight or try to put out the fires. So half of them were putting out fires, and half of them were engaging, and people were yelling all over, and it was madness and chaos.
Clever plan.
And the Baron sent his elite guard out to fight as well. He and his family probably went to their hidey hole to protect themselves. They called some people in, and they had their gates open for a while, but it was so sudden. Those of us that didn't think we could make it there, that's why we hopped in the boats. We had our boats right there. And all of us just got together. Everybody on our little area got together.
So some people are with the Baron.
Some are, yes. There's only in Indelofen, there's only really about 100 permanent residents that live in town. Everyone else, all the other 300 residents that are considered residents of Indelofen or of the region, are farmsteads around, right? There's huge, vast farming and orchard lands around. And those large families live on their farmsteads. And normally, if there was an attack coming, everyone from the farmsteads would bring their crops as much as they could into the town. They would hide, they would hide in the castle, and they would disperse all of so that everybody could sort of batten down and defend against any incursion. But everything was so fast, and there was no warning. And because they started setting everything on fire before they actually started fighting, it was a bit of confusing. We don't even know how many of the farmers are being attacked.
Okay, that was Leonie's next question, is have you heard anything from the farmers? But, okay.
Some closer farms, the families came in. We saw them running in. That happened right around the same time we realized this wasn't halflings. It was actually something much more nefarious.
I don't know. I wish you the best in getting to safety. See what we can do.
How many goblins did you see in the town?
Pardon me, but we didn't stop to count. At least 10 to 15. They seem to focus on the abbey and setting fire to any wooden structure.
We were coming from the woods down there, and we didn't see any goblins in that direction, so I think you're safe going that way, and for those of you hanging in the water, you could probably walk down the beach and the roads further on if you're afraid of going through the forest.
Yeah, I just walked down the beach.
Well, the problem, honestly, is to get down to the next... Gotta look at my map here. To get down to the next town, it's very dangerous. We don't want to have to go through the glades at night.
Well, I'd put it in on the beach further along and wait it out then.
She'll freeze in the water overnight.
Yes, we don't really want to stay on the water either. We're quite...
But I don't think you'll be here. There's other dangers, but I don't think the goblins are down there.
That's true.
And they'll be busy in town tonight. That's what they do.
One of the guys in the water, he gets out of the water and he stands up and he says, "Do you have weapons? Because we can go fight." I'm not one that ever thought I'd be running from my own home and shop.
We probably have some.
That's a good question. Did you guys acquire any weapons in the last session?
Did we not collect a bunch of short swords and stuff?
We didn't bring them with us. Oh, did we?
I mean, I know we collected them. We said we were going to bring them. But we didn't have like a mule or anything this time. Because we got them from the wasn't there another group of goblins in the forest?
Did you give all those weapons to Half Hill, though? To defend themselves?
We did for the first mound, but wasn't there another group of goblins for the second mound?
No, we didn't have any goblins. We just had what was inside there.
They were all skeletons.
Skeletons.
Well, yeah, skeleton goblins. Wasn't there a second group of them when we headed to the second mound?
No. No, we kept waiting for them and they never came.
I guess we didn't.
I mean, like, I've got a spare weapon idling someone.
I mean, you guys got those big, long spears that we made to stab the spider.
We made some spears for the spider.
And I can borrow or lend one of these guys an iron spear. I'll keep my bastard sword.
I got a mace. Got a couple of hand axes.
Are you all going to assail the town?
I'm fine with that. I don't know if anyone else is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not as many goblins there yet. If we could be in there and get that gate reestablished.
I mean, perhaps we could take the gate. But
we will know the real situation because this was a coordinated surprise attack.
Yeah, the thing that worries me is that they are coordinated. Somebody's targeting, but we could potentially take the gate.
And you know how you end coordination? Take out the leader.
That's what I said. We go attack that ogre. His leader's with him.
Well, should we? Can we rest for the night first before going in there?
How far are we from
Or do you
Half-Hill?
think-
We won't know where he's at if we rest for the night. We've probably already lost enough time. He may have already moved, and we'll have to find him. He was standing in the gate waiting for us before.
If we rest, then the attack finishes, and we just didn't do anything to save anybody.
Leonis, Half-Hill is at least 10 miles from where you are. You're very far
Okay,
away.
so it's like 3 hours. Good 3 hours. 4 hours if we're moving very cautiously. Okay. No?
Well, I have enough to throw a sound burst, but that'll be loud.
I have enough to throw asleep.
That's all right. We get close enough for you to throw a sound burst at him, they'll already know we're coming.
Well, the sleep will work well. I like that. I think that has a good range, and that'll be silent.
Mm-hmm. Then see if you need to, then we can use the sound burst to take a few more out. No?
Yeah. I think that's our best area of effect spells that we have.
And if the so is the rest of the wall intact? So if we close the gate, hold the gate, then they're kind of stuck, unless they go down the river, obviously, or north.
Yeah, so they have not been successful at... So one of the reasons that wall is only covering half the town is that it is very, very good construction.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes them a very long time to build that. Also, it's a pet project of the Barons, so they finished the half and it didn't get a lot of support for the other half. But it's very, very well constructed. So the goblins are not having an easy time of it. You know, they've got these little chintzy battering rams that are basically made of big, thick tree branches because they're just little goblins.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of doing superficial damage, which is why Tripp had pointed out that, you know, they wouldn't just keep doing that. They would realize pretty quickly they're not causing a lot of damage, and they would change tactics unless they were instructed to perform that. You know, that's the task that they're trying to perform.
Yep, so they're magically controlled, perhaps. They aren't ensorcelled. All right. What is the area that is being attacked?
So,
is it all along the wall, or is it a specific area?
So they're in groups of about 5 to 8 goblins trying to battering ram through and you know, climb on each other's shoulders to climb over the wall and whatnot, and try to like break the crenellations from the top and things like that. And they're spaced about every 20-30 feet. So you've got a group of 5 here, and then 20-30 feet later you've got another group of 7, and then 20-30 feet you've got a group of 8.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Now, if they're focused on that, and that is their focus, maybe we can take them out group by group.
Yeah. Let's go back and see if that gate is still open and make a rush for that. And what we could do is go up the coast, then come along that southern wall and around to the gate that way.
So assume that this entire region here, because the townsfolk mentioned the tenements to you, these tenements are all burning. And all of those fishermen's houses in the little fish town are all on fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
But is the gate open or the gate closed?
The gate's open. That's how you know there's some kind of
Yeah,
large
okay.
creature
Okay,
there.
it was open. All right, so maybe we do need to concentrate on that. My fear is that the goblin that is riding the ogre is somewhat powerful and is controlling all these goblins,
Yeah.
and therefore is quite powerful.
Yeah, we lived the last encounter with him, so let's do it again.
All right.
How long has it been since we kind of split?
Probably not more than half hour.
All right. Trouble is they were hiding.
Alright, so what'd you guys decide? We going up to try and sneak around the wall? Or are we going after the gate?
Well, I think we ought to go up, and if I can use this tool,
So
go up to something like this, up the beach somewhere in here, and then come across here to by the wall, and then move around to the gate from there.
Yeah, because either do that, or we could try to sneak through the water in here.
Yeah, we could try and do that.
Yeah,
Whatever
so
you guys want to do.
just to clarify for you, these darker green areas right here, like right here, this is a stand of trees.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
And so all of these sort of dark green areas right here, like this one.
So there's there's some trees right in the middle, just
Yep.
by the watchtower.
Exactly.
Leonise is thinking, she's kind of wondering whether she could catch Elgar and Gil.
Elgar
You mean
is with
Trip?
you.
Yeah, you mean Trip.
Trip. Yes, I'm sorry.
Probably if you told them, I mean, if you went, because, Leonise can move through
Yeah,
forest
Leonise is
pretty swiftly.
fairly quickly. All right, so Leonise is going to be like, let's think of a plan. I'm going to see if I can get Gil and Trip back.
Okay. So why don't we, the remaining three of us, and are these guys from the boat going to join us, some of them?
Yeah, I mean, so if you get the only people probably that won't join you are Willem and his wife, because they're a little bit older. They're probably 60, and they're kind of a rich merchant family, and they're used to being catered to and not picking up a sword. We'll put it that way. They're probably the most fearful. You see the most fear in their eyes, because
Here's the question I have then.
their good, comfortable life just got destroyed, basically. Their shop was burnt down.
Can I convince them to let us borrow the boat to ferry people into the town, and then they can take off? 'Cause that might make it easier for us to use this water area to kind of hop in here rather than having to jump into the water. Otherwise, I suggest we try and do that, get to the tower that way.
So are you asking him if he'll give you the boat, or what are you?
We're asking him if he will come with us to that, just to do that portion and keep him safe, and then once we ferry into there, we'll let them head out. It'd be the one way we might be able to help save whatever is left of their shop. As the non-charismatic dwarf says.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're not really making it enticing for Willem and his wife to go back there, right? If you go back with them and then you sneak around and then they gotta leave again, they have to escape again. That's what they're, right? That's their...
What's the chances of there being another boat down there? Pretty good, huh?
I mean, hit and miss, because the goblins were also in the water, so you have no idea.
Oh, they came in through the water.
Some of them came in, you saw them in the river.
Here's the...
Yeah, let's see if we find a boat, we'll use it. If not, we'll have to get our feet wet.
Bernie, let's consider this point. If everyone else is coming with us and it's just Willem's, we could tell them they're just out of luck. We're going to take the boat. and do this to try and save the town.
Well,
Just
I mean,
saying.
if you feel like you can do it, go for it.
There's only the two of them. Everyone else is coming with us. I'm not saying it's the best idea, but we can leave them on the shore.
Yeah.
They won't be happy.
They will have escaped already. They won't have to escape again.
Well, they were going to camp on the shore anyway, right?
I'll leave it up to you guys whether you want to try and do that or if you want to go after the gate. But I know
Do that. I got some rations. I'll loan them, or I'll give them. They can have something to eat that way.
Meet us at that little forest on the south side of the wall if you find Trip.
So, yeah, so Leonie says, let's meet in the forest, south side, southeast of the wall. I'm going to go and collect Trip and Gil.
Okay.
Might take me a while. I can run quicker than I can move quicker than they can, but if we're gonna go and attack, we need all we've got. So we've got some men with weapons. We've got ours. We might be okay. Meanwhile, let's think about: are we going for the gate, or are we going to go and sneak inside the wall?
We'll figure that out while you go get Trip.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so Leonise is going to go get Trip and Gil.
Yep.
Got it. You're gonna be able to catch up to them in about 20 minutes.
Okay.
So how many of the townspeople are with us now to go and attack the town? There were 4 plus 5, 6, 7. The 2 that weren't, the Willems weren't. That would have been the Portmaster.
You've got 10 people.
Okay. I have 4 hand axes and a mace, so I can arm 5 of them that way.
Okay,
I've got a sling here for someone that might feel that would arm a 6th person, at least with a missile weapon.
Okay, so the Portmaster Alder, he has a weapon because he's officially a member of the town guard, so he's got his weapon. Kirk Enzo, the butcher, he's got a giant butcher knife.
Cool.
Okay.
Willem and Leona are not fighting with you. Then you've got the Master Brewer and his 2 assistants, Zelgil, Emmett, and Frederick. They could use a weapon.
Okay, that's what I said. I got that. I've got that.
Okay,
4 hand axes and a mace.
I will borrow my iron spear.
And we've got at least 3 spears with it between us.
Then you've got the Tanner Sheriff and his 2 assistants, Lute and Belden. They would need some weapons.
So they could take the spears.
So we've got 3 spears, 4 hand axes, and a mace. So that's like 8 weapons.
That's 8 weapons, plus 2 of them have got weapons, so I think we're good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the spears are nice because they can stand behind and reach. Because we made them long spears.
Let me just make sure I'm doing the math right here. So... Yeah, you need 6 weapons for people.
We've got 8. So choose which ones they're going to use, and then we'll retrieve the rest.
All right. I suggest we give the 3 spears because they're handy, because they've got long reach.
I agree with that.
Okay. So the brewers will take the spears.
And then probably the others will be best off with the
Hand axe.
hand axes. That'd be more natural to them than a mace. Although if someone really wanted the mace, they can have it.
They're tanners, so they probably are relatively familiar with axes, scraping skins and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then what? Now what are you doing? So are you going to wait for Leonise and Trip and Gil to get back, or are you going to move first?
We're going to move first. We're moving up once we're at least scout this out. We may start without them if we think we need to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The intent was to go to this woods room. You pointed out here.
Yeah.
Because that's where we told Leonise to meet us, a rendezvous.
That southern wood there? Okay.
Correct.
You're going to move that way, trying to be stealthy? Is that what I'm hearing?
I'm going to head down the beach if we can, if that's not too hard to do. Use that embankment for a little bit of screening.
Mm-hmm.
Got, what, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of us or so? I don't think we're going to be all that stealthy. So I say we just move, and if any goblins come our way, we can take them out.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we're gonna. But I just so we don't get like seen and noticed, and they send a whole bunch of patrol out to deal with us.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest we go along the shore and do as best we can.
Yep.
It's fairly quick.
Yeah. No need to try to be stealthy. Just we kind of obscured our view geographically and move on.
Okay. All right. Which one of you is the tallest? Probably Bernie.
Me. Yep.
Roll me a dexterity siege check.
That'll be a 14 prime.
Okay. So the group of you, so Garrick, Bernie, and Elgar, along with the portmaster, the butcher, 3 brewers, and 3 tanners, make it into that small stand of woods. I mean, small. Each square on this map here of the town is 40 feet square.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, so it's actually pretty large stand of trees. Also, I realize it's not really square, it's more like little rectangles, but you get my idea, right? It's just an imperfect map, but it's a decent representation of what's happening. So you can easily make it into that forested area. And it looks like you made it there without anyone causing any kind of alarm, so that there's been no change that you can see in the goblins' behavior as you traveled along.
Okay.
Now, I will note that the goblins that are working the wall are all more on the side beyond the watch gate, right beyond that watchtower gate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're not near where you are. In other words, so no one is working that particular.
So there's no goblins along here and none along here?
I can't see what you're pointing at. Hold on. Correct. There aren't any goblins there. They're all on the other side.
Okay, guys. I suggest we have a lookout over here, watching for goblins. A lookout somewhere down here, watching for Leonise and Trip. I'm going to go over and check out what the river looks like, the entrance here, see what this whole area looks like to try and get around.
Okay. I will put let's put a couple of the townspeople doing those 2 lookouts for us, and then I'm going to watch him in case he gets in trouble. Maybe I can get over there and help him before he's before it's too late.
I look over my shoulder, Bernie, you're funny.
I'm going to keep a lookout over here with one of the people that we have on watch, just so that way.
Oh, if we go back. Wait.
Yeah, so you're back around the town, but it's going to take you a few minutes to sneak around and get to that forest.
Okay.
And so I'll need a dexterity siege check from one of you.
Mine's a secondary, but I have a good skill. So that is 17, but secondary.
Okay. So after about an hour total, Leonise and Trip and Gil make it to the stand of trees.
Okay.
Oh, hold up. Gil, Trip never said he was going back.
Okay, so Leonise, you okay? So let's back up and
I
lay out that
Gil-
scene. Leonise, you find Trip and Gil in the forest traveling towards Half Hill.
Hey, can you bring up the world map real quick, Samuel?
Sure. Hold on one second.
Because I mean, I know Gil wants to go to Half Hill. I'm wondering if we're like already there. Is he gonna be willing to turn back around and throw his halfling family to the wolves? So how far do you think we would have made it by the time Leonise catches up?
So by the time Leonise caught up to you, you were probably, let's see, it was only about an hour, so you were probably...
You said it took him 20 minutes to catch him.
Yeah, but from the time they left and you all went to the shore and made a decision about what you were doing, and then he had to go get them, so honestly, you were probably right about here.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know if we want to play it without Gil here. Do you think Gil would want to go back to Indelofen or continue to Half Hill?
I think if you explain the plan to Gil, he would come back.
Okay.
Like it's not just the 6 of us. We also have, 8 townsfolk with us. We can see a lot of the goblins are maybe controlled and doing kind of moronic things. Therefore, would be easy to take out. And we saw something in the region of 30, 40 goblins total.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the whole other side of town where the castle is.
And I think Gil would come back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to let Gil go off alone. So if Gil will come back, then I'll come back too.
I mean, I think if you gave him a compelling reason, he would come back.
Yeah. I mean, I know how Alex thinks, so he would.
Yeah.
And we might find out in a few minutes.
I thought he'd actually popped in, but...
Yeah.
It looked like he tried.
No, that was somebody else.
Random.
All right, then, we'll head back with Leonise.
Okay, so now let's fast forward then. So you make it, you sort of take the same track that everyone else did. You go down to the beach. You actually see Willem and Leona and a couple of other townsfolk camping there on the shore because she's afraid to go into the forest. She doesn't want to go hide in the forest. She feels like they're far enough away that the goblins aren't going to come out after them. But she doesn't want to go in the forest because she's afraid of what's in the forest. So you see the 4 of them camping there. And then you can travel along that beach under the sort of ridge bank and make it to the place where where everyone is located in the
So
town.
does that mean we have their boat or not?
Yeah, they gave you their boat because you said you needed it.
That's even better then.
Well, I definitely left them a couple of packs of rations in each.
Well, then I am going to be trying to set up so whenever they come back, what does the river look like by the junction of the wall and the river?
Well, the wall goes right into the river.
Do I see any goblins? Do I see anything across the river by the warehouses?
Yeah, they're swarming.
How many?
Well, I mean, the warehouses are on fire, and you see at least 2 to 3 goblins
Okay,
around
because
each of those. Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like
Yeah.
something that's 100 goblins instead of the 15 to 40 that we suspect. All right,
I mean,
then I'm gonna-
you don't see an enormous horde. You just see sort of goblins with big torches lighting things on fire.
don't inhale sauerkraut.
Feed them.
Then while this time, if I can't remember anyone's name anymore, Linnaeus, whatever her name is, didn't come back yet, I'm essentially going to be trying to secure the boat as kind of almost like a little bridge to try and get around and kind of peek around and see if there's any goblins.
Well, if that's the case, if he's trying to do that, I'll go down and help him with that.
If it's going to take an hour, I figure by then I might have already peeked around the corner. I guess we don't have the map up, so I can't point, but...
Yeah, the map's there.
Okay, yeah. So I've been trying to put the boat kind of right here, and I'd be trying to peek around and see what it looks like over here if I could.
So that little port area with the dock is on fire.
Okay. Do I see any goblins over in this area at all?
You see 3 goblins actually on top of this tower right here.
Excellent. All right.
What kind of tower is that?
It's a simple watchtower.
Stone one.
Wooden one? What's that?
It's wooden, yeah.
Interesting.
This one here that actually has the watchtower label, that's stone. This lighthouse over here is stone. All the other watchtowers are mostly wood with a little bit of stone reinforcement.
Ernie.
Yeah.
Get everyone. We're going to go in this way.
Okay.
We can use the buildings around this wall for cover, and we can get out and cross on this boat.
Sounds
So
good.
bring back all the watches except the ones waiting for Linnaeus. Have them meet us
Okay.
out here when they get here.
I'll go get them.
And I'm basically going to try and secure the boat somehow to the wall if I can. That means shoving my spear in the ground right around here and using that to kind of hold the boat here. That's
Now,
okay.
as you're doing this, are you trying to be stealthy or are you just boldly doing it? Like, are you worried about being seen by them, or are you convinced they're doing other things?
I'm trying to think of how Garrick is going to be in this situation and not recommend. He's going to be slightly cautious, but not overly cautious. He figures that maybe goblins over on the other side might see him, but he figures if he sees these goblins up here, they're distracted or they're not really going to... There's this building here and buildings there, and there's fire. So he figures he's hidden by this wall, so he should be able to try and secure that in. So take that into account with whatever you do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Which it probably doesn't.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Bernie would be being worried about being careful on the other side of the wall, but not particularly on this side of the wall. He'll move fast. I mean, he's not going to just lumber around and yell at the goblins on the other shore, but he's not going to, like crawl and try not to be seen.
Okay. So, Garrick, explain to me exactly what you're doing with the boat.
I am trying to essentially bring the boat up so that we can hop onto the boat and onto the shore, basically to kind of use it as a little ramp over to here to hide behind this building. And then we can proceed from there. So I want to try and at least secure it somehow here, and if that means shoving my spear deep into the ground and using rope to tie the boat on this side. And then once we have people ready to go, he's willing to go first and try and, if someone wants to borrow him a spear or one of the somethings, whatever, or tie it to this boat dock, whatever, somehow to get that boat so that we can use it almost like a little pontoon to hop over. Because we've got, 12, 13?
Well, I will assist him in getting that spear in there or post or something in the ground.
Okay. So give me a strength siege check.
And that will be a 20 prime.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to use bigger dice. 19 plus 22 prime.
Okay, so you'll have no problem securing that boat to a post of some sort, whether it's a spear that you secure in there yourself, or whether you find a piece of the wall that you can anchor it to somehow. You have no problem doing that. But you might have been seen, but you're not sure. Those 3 goblins on top of that tower are like celebrating and, jumping up and down, and they don't appear to be looking at you all that much. They're more looking towards where the big ogre troll thing was at. All the buildings around you are on fire. All the warehouses across the river are on fire. All the docks have been burnt down. By now, the town's been on fire for about 2 hours. By the time you get back to the little forested area to check in, Leonise and Trip and Gil are there.
Okay.
So Leonise is like, okay, so what's the plan? What did you work out?
Basically, what you see is when you guys leave that little forest area and Garrick sees that, he's hopping the boat and heading over onto the other side.
When we get over on the other side, I think what we should do is primarily see if we can find that ogre and take it out and get that little critter on the ground. If we run across any of them, small group, let's just, slash at them as we run, and if they want to chase us, we'll kill them. I think they're pretty well split up into little groups all over the place starting fires. So we shouldn't have any mass, but let's try to hurry towards the ogre.
Bernie, the only thing we'll have to take care of is we may have to take care of those 3 on that little tower. And then proceed to try and find that ogre.
But who are they going to warn? I don't think they're set up to warn anything. They're up there.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go.
But we got bowmen, so if they want to take some shots at them.
Could take some shots, but that would, well, maybe we shoot it. Yeah, so there you go. So we could shoot at them while everybody else goes in. Right, we can distract them.
Let's talk, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
And Garrick jumps on the boat.
Well, hold on. You're in the forest right now. You're not on the boat right now.
Actually, I don't think Garrick ever left the boat, so he probably wouldn't be talking at all. He's ready to go.
He likes his boat. He's like, come on, guys, come on.
And he's like,
What are Elgar and Trip thinking right now? Because Garrick and Bernie are very clearly willing to just rush in there and start cracking skulls. Leonise is willing to give covering fire, but I haven't heard a lot from Trip and Elgar.
I think Elgar would be giving covering fire and working with Leonise regarding spells and things like that.
Okay. So, yeah, if you guys want to bring up the rear and do that, make sure we don't leave any stragglers behind, we'll charge ahead.
Trip?
Trip thinks going into town is a very bad idea, but he's willing to help out.
Okay.
It's like it's not the forest. I don't like the town.
I mean, I don't give a rip about the town, but this guy's going in there regardless of what we do, so I figured we might as well go in there and kill some goblins.
As soon as somebody gets crushed by the ogre, Trip's out.
Fair enough.
All right, so let me just give you some points of reference here. So on this town map here, all right.
Oh, what time of day is it now?
Well, it was early evening about 2 hours ago, so the sun is setting right now.
Oh, good. That's even better.
So the large ogre-like thing is right here.
Still has the goblin on his back.
Still has the goblin on its back. Okay.
Okay.
This building is on fire. This building's on fire. This building's on fire. All of these are on fire. All of these little buildings here are mostly wooden, right? All of them are on fire. So this
Right up
place
here.
is a wasteland right now. Okay?
And hot.
This is
Right between the fire and the wall, come out of that smoke, running, and we probably won't run into any goblins except those in the tower, and we'll be on that ogre in no time at all.
Which way is the wind blowing? Are we able to see the goblins on top of the tower?
Which tower?
The one over by the forest where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you can see them. I mean, it's pretty obscured in smoke, but you can still see them.
Do you have like a warp wood spell or something?
No, I'm just wondering if we set the damn thing on fire.
That would be a viable option. Here's some torches.
It makes sense. I mean,
Here's some oil. Here's some torches. Yeah,
everything else is burning. Nobody will think anything of it.
yeah, just more chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Garrick, what's in that watchtower? Do they have a ballista up there? Why do I think that there's a ballista up there?
Okay, where's everyone who's talking at? Because Garrick is at the river, on the boat.
Oh.
So if you're not there, he can't hear you.
Got it.
I mean, you don't even see him. You see his butt as he's peeking around the wall, getting ready to go. Getting back.
He's getting impatient by the second.
Come on, let's go.
I think
Basically, whatever.
Elgar has been in that watchtower because that's when you all returned with all the goblin skulls, right?
Yeah.
Everybody went into that watchtower.
We've been in the watchtower, but not the one that we're talking about setting on fire.
No,
or
no.
are you talking about the watchtower?
No, I'm talking about the actual watchtower because I thought that's what he was asking about.
Yeah, he's wondering if there's a ballista on top to shoot the ogre.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good point. They probably aren't guarding it either.
So, is there a ballista on top of the watchtower?
Roll me a
Or
percentage
any-
dice.
And then the second question is it pointed away from the town and fixed that way, or can it be turned all the way around?
87.
There are 2 anchored heavy crossbows on the watchtower. There's not a large ballista.
How tall and how wide is the watchtower?
It's three stories tall, so it goes above the wall, and it's about 50 feet in diameter, maybe, if that.
Yeah.
It's relatively small.
When you say anchored, so they're anchored to a post, but can they be turned, or are they pointing
Yeah,
outwards?
they're on a post, and they can be swiveled so that they can fit the gap in between there's crenellated stones at the top.
But they're pointing outwards.
They are pointing outwards, yes, out
They can't be turned.
beyond the wall. They can't be turned, but they could probably be removed from the post they're on and just used on the other side if you wanted.
Just rested on the other side. That's what
Okay, cool.
Ooh, that would be nice.
So there you go, Alger. There is your mission.
If anybody can use a crossbow.
All right, well let's go attack then.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, wait. I just looked at I've got the gloves of dexterity.
You do, or Gil does?
I do. I have them on my character sheet here.
Okay.
I knew we gave him to one of the archers.
So
I
that
think
gives me a-
Leonise took them because Alex thought they would be better off with Bert as the thief. but Bert's training, so.
Yeah. So that's why my dex is a.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how's this plan? Should we shoot the guys on the tower now? Is the plan ready to go?
Yeah. Come on, we're going around the corner. We're going to start moving towards the goblin. We're going to start moving along the wall up towards the watchtower to get to the ogre. And you guys let some fire go at those guys. Here's some torches. Here's some oil. Set that sucker on fire, and let's have a little more chaos. And
I think I did that wrong.
Okay, so are you going to coordinate that so that you're shooting the goblins on the watchtower first, or are you going to set that thing on fire? I thought you decided to set it on fire instead.
Yeah, but I mean, then we'd have to get into town and get all the way over there through the fire. Unless I don't think shooting flaming arrows at it is gonna.
No. You're going to have to use some oil and torches at the bottom of that thing to get it on fire.
Yeah, so then we got to climb over the wall or swim through the lake to go around the other corner.
Well, that's why we got the boat there.
Okay.
Yeah, Garrick set up the boat so that it acts like almost like a floating dock next to where the wall ends over here.
And with that
Right
building
here.
right up against the wall, are we even going to be able to fit through there with the flames?
I mean, you'll have to squeeze by, but yeah, you should be able to.
Because a burning building is going to be pretty hot.
Mm-hmm.
If you say we can do it, let's do it.
Okay, so so everyone's gonna go into the town. Is that what I'm hearing?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did Elgar, do you want to go to the watchtower?
Eventually, that's where I'm going to make my way to.
All right.
Okay. So Elgar's just gonna go into town, and he's just gonna go straight to the watchtower. What's everyone else doing?
I'm going on the boat, and then I'm going with the rest of the group, and eventually walking down or getting close to, hopefully, the watchtower.
Right.
My plan is to move along that wall
Mm-hmm.
towards the watchtower, into that gap, spot the ogre, head for it. I'm gonna pace myself so I don't outrun the dwarf until we get close enough for me to get. I mean, I'll charge the last little bit away from him and get that first attack in, but I'm gonna not outrun him.
Oh no, I'm getting the first attack. I'm charging with my spear.
That's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to outrun you.
Hold on. So Alex just showed up, it looks like.
Oh, yes.
Or Bernie, if you're just in front of me, I can jump off your back and charge him with a spear.
Perfect timing.
Good timing there, Alex.
You haven't died yet, so it is good timing.
What have I missed so far? Yeah.
Well, so let's do this. It's 8:35, so let's take a break. While we're on break from the stream, you all can explain to Alex what's happening, and then when we start again, we can just go right to the action. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to throw us over to the break screen. Everybody will be right back. And there we go.
Well, we're really hiding through it because with all the flames and the noise, we figure not being overly stealthy. Right, Bernie? Or do you think we should be trying to be quiet?
I mean, I don't think we're going to like try to make additional noise unless you're going to start yelling. In case I'll yell, in that case I'll yell too. But yeah, I don't think we're going to worry about trying to be fast.
Samuel, do they have audio on the Twitch channel?
Yeah, I just fixed it. I fixed it. Okay. I saw that he said that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mute us during the break, and then I had forgotten to undo it. So, what is this about carbon monoxide poisoning?
Somebody in chat is trying to get everybody killed. That's what it is.
Smoke inhalation.
What a jerk.
But if there's smoke, they can't see us.
That's right. It's the Middle Ages. Those things carbon monoxide didn't exist then, you know?
That would take out the goblins too then. Goblins to their own doom.
All right, so we were muted. So what I had asked was everyone is just going to carry out their tasks without trying to be stealthy, right? I mean, you're not jumping up and down doing jumping jacks saying, "Hey, look at me," but you're not trying to be quiet and stealthy.
No, we figure there's a lot of chaos. There's noise. The fire's raging. Mm-hmm. So there's smoke. So we're gonna, we'll be crouched down, or Bernie will be crouched down. I don't think I have to crouch too much. But we're gonna be hustling along, trying to get up to that ogre's, or where we can see the ogre as fast as we can. Mm-hmm. And I believe Troop was going to try and burn this tower down or light it on fire while we were proceeding up this way.
Okay. So...
Well, that's bizarre.
Yeah, Chris, it popped you out. Okay, so... what are you going to have the townsfolk do? So you have Alder, Kirk, Zelgil, Emmett, Frederick, Sheriff, Lute, and Belden with you.
I believe we discussed, and have Linnaeus, Algar, and Gil let me know. They were going to hang back with the ranged people. If the goblins came, they would help to try and deal with that.
Right.
And then they would guide them based on, as we trying to attack this goblin, how to proceed with them.
Yeah, we're going to use
them. So we kind of near the back, guiding the townspeople.
Yeah. Using them as the reserves or whatever, however they saw the battle flowing.
Okay.
Mop up any goblins that come down.
So they would see us taking the charge and the brunt, and then we weren't like throwing them as meat shield.
Yeah.
Bernie and I would never do
that. What fun would that be? Let them get the glory?
And so let me get this straight. So, Elgar, you're going to go to the watchtower and climb it and take a hold of those crossbows?
Yeah, if it's possible. Are they better crossbows than anything else?
They're large, heavy crossbows. They have a range of 150 feet.
They will pack a punch. It just take a long time to load.
Yeah.
If you took a couple of those townspeople with you up in that tower to help load for you, you could maybe get both off each round.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Take a couple of townsfolk with at least one to load.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you'll also have to reposition it, so it's going to take a couple rounds to get all that going. But if you hit with it, it could, it's going to pack a punch.
It hurts.
Okay, so...
Good luck, Castle Keeper.
So you all sneak around. You, let me grab my pen here. You all sneak out of the forest here, kind of in single file line, and you move to the edge of the wall where the boat is. And you try like hell to all move to the other side of the wall by stepping on the boat that is secured really tightly and avoid the fire and then come in like this until you get to this small watchtower here where there are 3 goblins celebrating on top of it. And then Trip is going to set that on fire. Meanwhile, while Trip is stopping to try to set it on fire at multiple different places, the rest of you continue up. Elgar and 3 townsfolk break off and go towards the watchtower. And when you get into this opening area here, Bernie and Garrick are going to rush forward and try to attack the thing with the goblin on its back.
We're going to see what we see when we get to that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Leonise doing?
Leonise is watching the goblins on the watchtower to make sure that if they start noticing anything, she will fire an arrow.
Okay, where is she going to be while she's doing that?
She will probably have moved up the wall a little bit, so we'll be probably past that first burning building.
Okay. And what is Gil doing?
Gil is doing a similar thing, moving up with Leonise and the townspeople, and just, again, keeping an eye on the watchtower to make sure that the goblins don't notice. And once they don't notice, we'll turn our attention to the ogre.
Okay. Now, you will see other goblins around, running around, making sure that all these little fishermen's houses and all of that are still lit. Are you going to take pot shots at those?
Oh, really? How many goblins do we see running around?
You see at least 6 or 7 goblins running around just tending the fires. I mean, they're tending these like they're big bonfires, like it's a party.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let them go. Let them do it.
Yeah, we'll just leave them.
As long as they don't notice and come towards us in a threatening way, we'll let them.
At this point, the ogre is the target.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep your eye on the wooden watchtower with the 3 goblins on top.
Well, and now we see others. We'd keep eyes on them too.
Yeah, but you're also gonna move more towards the direction of the ogre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once the others
Back of the line to keep an eye on things as we go past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Trip, give me a... Give me an intelligence siege check.
Keep in mind in your number here that the town is already burning furiously and the wood is superheated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Is Garrick
plus?
Do you get the +1?
+1 to a 3 is a 4.
If you needed torches, I have them. So.
Okay, so Trip is lighting that tower on fire, but because he's trying to not be seen by the goblins on top of it, it's taking him a little bit longer than he thought. Okay, so Trip is back there. So are Leonise and Gil going to stay back, or are you going to continue on?
we can. Leonise will move up once everybody's passed. She can still cover from there, so she can carry on.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do the same. I've got double distance with bows too, so I can keep going.
Okay.
Huge distance.
Yeah, because you guys could probably position yourselves around here, somewhere in that area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as long as I'm within range of the tower, so I'm okay. I've got like 60 feet or so.
Around where? Sorry, I missed that.
Somewhere in this general area, I would figure, is whatever their range is to the tower to kind of protect Trip,
Okay.
and then also be able to move forward when they can.
Mm-hmm. Now, Elgar, are you going to try to sneak into the watchtower, or are you just going to are you going to wait for Garrick and Bernie to create a diversion so that you can get into the watchtower, or how are you approaching this with your 3 townsfolk?
So I would probably go around the far side of the watchtower in, unless they're going in for that fight. So it all depends on what we see in that location there, and whether or not how we're going to go into the watchtower. But I would presumably try to be a little bit careful going in there. I mean, there's not really any place to hide with all the buildings on fire and such, but we're going to try to be a little bit stealthy, yeah.
Okay.
Use the smoke.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, this little stand of trees is also on fire, just so you know.
Oh. Oh.
That changes everything for Leonise. So Trip finally starts getting some some fire to start on that tower. It was pretty well fortified, but now Trip found a couple of spots. You don't see the goblins that are on top of it doing very much. They're still just celebrating and dancing around, okay? As the rest of you sort of get around this area up here, and you sort of round around this, you sort of turn this corner where this big tenement building is on fire, you see that the big ogre troll creature is indeed an ogre.
Okay.
And it's standing still, and the goblin on its back has blue skin. You see it really clearly now. And it's pointing at the trees that are being set on fire currently, and it's pointing at some of the other houses, and a bunch of goblins down below are sort of running and with their torches and going to set these other buildings that are not on fire yet, and the trees that are not on fire yet. So it's obviously directing them to do that. It doesn't actually see you yet until you're all sort of kind of peeking around looking. I mean, peeking around. Everything's on fire, right? You're kind of skulking around looking. And at some point, it points to the building that's closest to this corner of the graveyard over here, right? This building here. And then it stops and it puts its head up. And you see it sniff. And the ogre starts to turn around so that the goblin will now be facing more towards you. So it starts to turn. So what are you going to do? Are you going to hide? Are you going to rush it? Are you going to do something else?
How far away from me are it?
You're about 80 feet from it right now. Each of those squares on the map is about 40 feet.
Okay.
That's why I didn't throw tokens down, because the tokens are the wrong size on the map.
Right, yeah. I'm just doing a little mental Okay. Well,
this was the plan.
Come on, let's go.
Why is everybody stopping? This was the plan, I thought.
Yeah, the plan was to rush, I thought.
Yeah, I'm going to charge in.
Okay, so everybody roll me an initiative. Or, well, one of you roll initiative, and then we'll figure out what everybody's doing.
So I made an initiative order.
Can't go that far.
Richard, you're up first. So it's Richard, George, Robert, Matt, Chris, Alex.
Okay.
So
Somebody needs
just remember the person that's in front of you. Richard, you're up first.
Okay,
yeah,
but you have to roll initiative overall, though, because I rolled a 5.
I know.
So somebody needs to roll a d10.
And I rolled a 1.
Okay. So the ogre keeps turning around as you're all going to get into position. And as it turns around, the goblin on its back in the basket sort of stands up a little bit taller. And it looks down at you all, who it now sees. And it looks and it points at you. Now, you can't tell which one it's pointing at, because it's like 20 feet in the air, because the ogre is, really tall,
right,
and it's on the basket. And it's pointing down with its finger. And it says, You have it. Give it to me, and I will let you live. And then it taps the ogre on the shoulder, and the ogre goes to take a step. And now it's all your turn. Everyone, by the way, heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Except maybe Trip, if he's still back by the tower.
Trip's still by the tower.
Okay, Trip did not hear that, but everyone else who's in that area heard it, including the townsfolk. So, who's going first?
Ernie, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna move up as close as I can. I guess if I can't get there to hit it. So you said we're about 80 feet away.
You're about 80 feet away.
I'll move in about 40 feet then.
Okay.
So has enough time passed? Where's Leonese at this point? Would she be up at the corner?
Yeah, you're all pretty much in that same area.
Got it. Okay.
Right, you're all pretty much like right here.
Give
or take, right? I mean, it's theater of the mind, so it's give or take. I'm not
Sure.
doing measurements, right?
Sure. Leonese's gloves of dexterity. Do they give a magical bonus to dexterity, which impacts armor class and ranged weapons?
Gloves of dexterity. Let me see.
They're a +2.
I would think so.
I think that's what we saw last time. They were
That's what I was trying to
everything.
remember.
I wrote it.
Because I
Just raise your dex by 2.
I posted it in the.
Oh, you did?
I posted it in Discord, but it's been a while, so you might not have an easy time finding it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's +2 dex.
Because I actually ended up upping my dex score, which I think was wrong.
Yeah, it says, these thin leather gloves are very flexible, allow for delicate manipulation. They add to the wearer's dexterity score in the form of an enchantment bonus.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to wear both gloves for the enchantment to remain.
Oh, so
it's a +2, so it gave you +2 dex.
It actually gives me +2 dex. Okay, so it was right.
Hey, if moving like that, would I be able to throw a hand axe?
You can only move half your movement and attack.
Okay, I'll move up.
So what's Leonese actually doing?
Sorry, so Leonese is going to step up to the watchtower.
Okay.
I think she can get there and fire a bow. She might be at long range, though.
You're firing at the ogre or the goblin in it or something else?
Let's take the ogre out.
Okay.
Get him on the ground. So it's a -2, right, at longer range, or is it negative? I can never remember.
You're gonna be... Are you at long range? I don't think you're at long range.
I'm
You're
not
using
okay.
a long bow?
Short bow.
Oh, short bow has a 60-foot range. But your target is large, so I'm going to call no penalty on that one.
Okay, so 12 +4, so 16.
That's going to hit.
And damage is a D6.
Encouraging.
Four points of damage.
Okay.
And Leonese is over by the watchtower.
Okay. Who's next? The ogre now has an arrow in its thigh, and it's pissed off. It starts going,
Trip is going to make sure that the tower he's at is on fire well enough that they can't escape without jumping off or dying in flames. And then he's going to start making his way to the stone watchtower.
Okay.
Me and the three townspeople.
Sorry, is Trip going to move it at regular speed, or are you going to go faster?
Is the wood tower pretty much on fire now?
It's on fire, yeah. They're not going to get out of it unless they jump.
I'm going to move at regular speed since I don't know what's going on over there.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry, George. Elgar?
He's going to run with the townspeople, and I think we're going to go back around the tower for cover. I don't want them to get hurt.
Okay. So going around like this side?
Correct.
Closer to the wall? Okay. Yeah,
And
so
just let me know.
It's open. So you can actually go in and go upstairs if you want. If you're running, you're going to go quadruple your speed, but you take a hit to your armor class. So if you were to get attacked at any point during this turn, you're going to take...
That's fine.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell the last person in line, as we're going around the tower, to close the door.
Okay.
And to guard it.
Okay. All right. As you're running up the stairs, you see that they close the door, and there's a big hole in the door. But it's closed now. There's a big hole in it, yeah, because it's wooden. The door is the only wooden part of that watchtower.
Oh, all right. Oh well. All right. Oh, follow me.
Okay, so you're gonna make it up to the top. You're gonna have to spend your next turn moving those crossbows. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Elgar and his retinue are up at the top of the watchtower because they ran. Who's next? So let's see. We still have Gil and Garrick left.
Let Gil go first, since he's the range dude.
All right, yeah, Gil will take a step up with Laney's towards the watchtower. I got little legs, so I'm not going quite as far, but and then I'll take a shot at the ogre as well.
Okay.
There we go. 22.
Okay, that's going to hit.
Nice hit.
8 points of damage.
Nice.
All right. Now it has an arrow in its other thigh, and it goes, ah! And it reaches down and it grabs both of the arrows, and it just yanks them out of its legs, and there's blood goes all over, and it throws them on the ground, and it yells, ah!
Now here's the question I have for you, Sam. I want to use my war song. Now, is that considered my action, or can I kind of jog up there and then start doing it, or I got to do that next turn?
Let's find out.
Yeah, it's not real clear about it.
Question.
I should have asked before game, sorry. It's like, I know what it does. I know its range. I don't know how it fits into the mechanics.
What are you going to do as your action?
I was going to move up as follow basically Bernie. Is my movement.
Okay. I would say you can perform your war song while you're moving.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to move up to 40 feet, jog up next to Bernie, and I'm going to start my war song. So everyone, including our townspeople allies, get +1 to all attribute checks. And I got to mark that down because it's only for 6 rounds.
Okay.
And Bernie, the dwarf comes up right behind you, and I don't know, if you don't speak dwarf, you just hear this deep bass song starting to come from a rough grumble.
Okay.
Hope we get initiative.
Well, that's what you're going to roll right now, so go ahead and roll, someone. Ugh, I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 5.
Okay, so you all
That's
won
nice.
initiative that round.
I love you, Elgar.
So, Elgar on top of the tower, instead of moving one of the heavy catapults,
Mm-hmm.
he will spend his action to cast Soundburst on the Eldritch Kobold.
Goblin.
Or Goblin, sorry. Eldritch Goblin. No need for a new monster. We're quite fine. And when it's an area of effect, 10-foot radius.
Oh, nobody's close. Good.
I hate to tell you this, but he's more than 50 feet away from you.
Oh, is he?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he moved up 40 feet.
He was about to take a
No.
step. He didn't actually move.
Okay. Can I retcon that then?
Sure, you
I thought he
can.
moved up.
Yeah, you can wait until he. Well, I mean, they're not. If they run up to him, he probably won't run up. He won't move up.
Right.
He was.
That's fine.
Yes.
Got
What
it.
would you like to do instead of that?
Move one of the catapults with one of the guys.
Okay.
Catapult. Yeah, let's move it up to catapults
yeah,
from
Sure. Yeah.
large bullet catapult.
Yeah, the war
Crossbows.
song made the heavy crossbows turn into a catapult. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There you go.
The kobold turned into a goblin, the crossbow turned into a catapult, I mean, it's getting bigger, you know?
Got it all.
I didn't know I had it in me.
So Trip only has about 20 feet of movement. So have I come around the corner of that last burning tenement yet?
So each of those squares is 40 feet, and you only moved your regular movement. So you're only about to the this small structure right here.
Got it. Gonna throw that on there so I can mark where I'm at.
And so I'm assuming you're moving again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bernie, Leonise, Gil, and Garrick.
Have the range guys go first, then Bernie and I are going to do our thing.
Say, take another shot.
Okay.
Leonise will 2. Oh, and misses badly.
17.
17 hits.
3 points of damage.
Okay.
Leonise's arrow goes into the watchtower.
Okay. All right. Bernie and Garrick.
Okay, can we charge up an attack?
Sure.
Okay. That's what I'm doing then.
Garrick was going to do a full-on charge because he's got his double movement right now with the jog. So, but I had to check with Sam because I I actually mention it. I kept saying I was going to charge. So we'll see what he says. Otherwise, I'll just charge or move up.
So a charge gets you a +2 bonus to damage.
-4 to AC.
Right.
Yep.
-4 to AC.
Okay, I'm willing to do it.
And you have to move at least your normal full distance. Those are the. Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of why I went to 40 feet because I knew I can jog, I can't run.
Right.
So I can jog
Exactly.
40 more feet with this spear and charge. That's why I went up with Bernie last time.
Yeah. So who's going to go first then?
Go ahead.
You just see this little angry dwarf just suddenly sprint forward. His little legs turning. All right. Pray for in front of my character. Never happened.
Pray for a hit because you're going to have a -4 AC.
Oh, yeah. That's a 15 to hit.
That misses.
Oh, my goodness.
He blocks you.
Oh, crap.
Oh, I don't have my level on that, do I? It's just a straight...
It's just a straight attack roll.
What about your war song? Does that add a +1?
No,
Not
not
to
this
hit,
one.
only to attribute checks.
Ah, crap. Roll a 10.
No strength bonus.
That's with my strength bonus.
That was my strength.
I have a
Ouch.
+5 to. I rolled a 5. Yeah.
So apparently the ogre, after it pulled the arrows out of its thighs, it threw them down and it braced itself against you and just sort of batted away the oncoming attacks. And now it is going to rear back and take a swipe at Bernie.
Okay.
18 on the die, which I believe is going to hit you.
that hit me without the -4. So.
10 damage.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah. The ogre just goes BAM! And hits Bernie and just pushes him down into the ground. And goes, ah! And it's like pounds its chest. And the goblin behind it says, "You see, I told you to give it to me." And then the goblin starts climbing out of the basket and climbing down the ogre. And then we roll initiative again.
Interesting.
George, you're still up.
Yep.
Yeah, George is about ready to fire that crossbow.
8.
8.
Nice.
I rolled a 2.
All right. So for the crossbow, just roll to hit and modify it by dex.
Yeah, you're making a ranged attack, so that's going to be...
Hey, DM, I want to ask one question. Did
Yeah.
I get my hit points for going up or not? Because that would make a difference.
You have not done your training yet, correct?
Okay. No, I haven't.
Right? Okay, so yeah. So you're not technically level 2 yet. You're still level 1.
Okay.
So George, it is a ranged weapon attack, so it's a D20 with your base to hit plus your dex mod.
Come on.
And I don't know if you're proficient in the heavy crossbow, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, any weapon. So,
Are you? Okay. That's fine. So you're proficient then.
only AC 13.
That misses. Well, actually, yeah, that still misses. Were you
Okay.
shooting at the goblin or the ogre?
Ogre.
Okay. All right. Yes, that misses. Okay, so that's Elgar. Garrick, Gil, Leonise, Trip.
Oh, yeah.
Kill
Evil
fire.
killer.
Trip already went.
The goblin within reach of Garrick and his sword.
Trip already... Wait, hold on. This is the third
Oh.
round. So Trip
Oh,
has not gone
sorry.
yet.
Gil hit armor class 18 for 7 damage to the ogre again.
Okay. Garrick, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Don't get crushed.
16, not prime.
The ogre falls on you. You take 3 points of damage. And you now have an ogre on top of you. You're knocked down. But the ogre's dead.
Sounds good.
Killed him!
But now there's
Gil
an
killed the ogre?
There's now an ogre on top of Garrick and Bernie. By the way, Bernie, how many hit points do you have in the negative?
I am negative 3.
Okay.
Did the ogre smash the little goblin, little blue goblin, by any chance?
Nope, because it was crawling down its back and the ogre fell forward.
Ah.
So now the goblin's standing on top of it.
And Leonise will shoot and hit an armor class of 22. Or, I'm assuming that hits for 4 points of damage, unless he's got, like, shield or something.
That does hit. How much damage?
4 points of damage.
Okay. Alright. It's still up. Now it has an arrow in its shoulder. It says, "No! No!"
Yes!
Trip and Garrick.
So Trip moved 40 more feet and is coming around the side of the tenement.
Okay. You see an ogre on the ground. Bernie and Garrick are on the ground under the ogre. Various parts of them are sticking out. You see a blue goblin standing on top of the ogre. And you see Gil and Leonise sort of around the watchtower, at the base of the watchtower, sort of around it, behind it, so that they can't get hit.
Got it.
Okay, so am I completely under this ogre, or am I half under it?
I mean, you're about
Like
half
bottom?
under it. It's basically on your legs.
So can I am I within range of that goblin if I like sit up and try and slash at it, or do I just have to try and get out from under the...
You can try to sit up and slash at it.
I'm going to try and sit up and slash at it.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good. That's an 8, whatever else you take against it.
Is that a no? Is that what you're...
That's not going to hit.
Yeah. Okay.
Flailing line.
You're kind of like waving in the air with your...
Come here, you little bastard. Come here, I'm going to get you.
It actually jumps off the ogre, and it's pushing the ogre away to try to get to Bernie. And that's all it does on its turn, but it has enough strength to actually push that ogre away, and it starts rifling through Bernie's possessions. And then we roll initiative again.
I got a 4.
I rolled a 9. Whoops.
We should have the townsfolk swarm now.
The goblin spends its turn going through Bernie's backpack.
And that thing is packed, and it's at the very bottom of it.
But it goes and it cuts open, it cuts the backpack. It pulls out its knife and it cuts the backpack, and it just spreads open the backpack, and it's going through, and it says, "Ah, I found it!" And it holds something up, and now it's everybody else's turn.
I'll cast command. Oh, I won't. Sorry.
Do we know what it's holding up?
What it's holding up is wrapped up in some kind of cloth or something, so you can't exactly see it.
Well, Garrick wants to try and shove the ogre over onto the goblin.
Okay. Leonie would have at least seen that thing before. I'll say that.
Yes, I know, but it's in cloth, so.
Well, but I wrapped it up and put it in there in front of everybody. I don't know.
That's true. That's probably true.
Oh, you did? Oh, I thought it was one of the things you sneaked. Okay.
No, it wasn't a sneaky thing. I said, I'll take it, and I picked it up, wrapped it up, and put it in my backpack.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the audience, what it is a goblet that's made of this black material that's called an Afkarn. It's made of an Afkarn's beak. And these are typical of ceremonial goblets for ceremonies worshipping Narrheit. And the thing is about this one is it had some engraved, it had some figures engraved on it, and it had on one side a person. It looked like a man, sort of thinking, almost like the Rodin sculpture, with the guy thinking, with his head, and then on the other side it had a guy, same guy. It looks like in a different pose, and the pose looked more like he was curious or confused or wondering about something. It didn't go so far as to have like a question mark above his head, but it's basically that idea. And so one of those was on one side of the goblet and one was on the other. And it had some kind of warm, fluidy substance in it, which they think it was a sweet wine, but they emptied it out and Bernie wrapped it up and put it in his backpack. So what's everyone doing then?
I'm bleeding.
Yes, Bernie is bleeding out right now.
Garrick is going to try and push the ogre onto the goblin.
Okay, give me a strength check.
+1.
That's considered, I was going to say that's also considered an attribute, right? Is he saying?
Yes, it is an attribute check.
A 19.
Nice.
Push me a goblin.
Okay, so you push it over, and he doesn't get knocked over, but it's kind of like on his feet and crowding him now, but he's not really paying attention. He's just like, yes, I have it!
Is it off of Bernie now, too?
It is off of Bernie.
I'm pretty much assume that is my action because that's a.
Yeah.
Imagine that's.
Yeah, I know what else you could do.
Okay. Gil, Elgar, Trip, Leonice.
Gil will tell the townspeople that are still backed by him and Leonice to charge and kind of urge them forward, and then he'll take another shot at the goblin.
Okay.
Armor class 15?
Nope.
Got it.
The townsfolk are kind of hesitant. They're really not. They were kind of surprised that the thing pulled something out of Bernie's backpack. Like, that's very odd to them. Like, they're not sure what's going on, and they're wondering, and they're scared shitless. They are scared, and you could tell they're, like, grasping these weapons and kind of looking at their hands where they're holding the weapons and kind of looking at the goblin and kind of like, I don't know. That thing seems, like, dangerous. But they do take a couple of tentative steps forward.
That war song has got to make them happy. Come on.
Yeah, Leonie shout at them and cast magic missile. Go get him! And she'll cast magic missile at him.
Okay. How much damage are you going to do?
3.
Okay. All right. Trip.
So now seeing this, you said something. If I rush, I can do quadruple move. Did you say that?
Yeah, if you run, you can run 4 times your regular distance, your regular speed, but you take
All
a
right.
hit to your armor class.
Yeah. So I'm pretty far back. So I already moved my full movement, but I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move the next so to get closer.
Okay. All right. Elgar.
Elgar is going to fire one of the bows,
Okay.
heavy crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
Is the other one loaded as well?
It is, but it's facing out of town over the wall.
Okay. That's a miss with a 7. Well, 10, but
Yeah, that is a miss. Roll initiative, because I think that's everybody.
did...
Yeah,
think
it's
I
Robert. Yeah, it's Robert's turn. Robert,
4.
you're
4. Okay.
A 40.
I rolled a 2.
Oh, nice.
All right, who
I
wants
can't
to go
get you.
first?
How close is the goblin to the burning building right there next to him?
They're at least 30 feet. They were he was basically out in the middle of that little clearing where the path is. So he's at least 20, 30 feet away from any burning material.
And Garrick is still under the ogre.
No, he pushed it
No.
away. He pushed it off of himself and Bernie.
Let's see here. I'm going to cast Cause Sinkhole, and I'm going to try to focus it so that it drops the goblin down the sinkhole, but I also want it to catch part of the ogre's body so that the ogre's body is kind of tipping on the ledge, and then it enough that it falls over on top of the goblin, but not get Bernie or Garrick.
Okay, so how big is the sinkhole again?
It's 15 feet wide and 10 to 20 feet deep, and it's got a 100-foot range.
Don't worry, Trip. I'll use it to dive on the goblin and stab
If
him.
it dropped me in the sinkhole, go ahead. It's not like it's going to hurt me any worse.
But then they have to pull you out of the sinkhole. Sorry, how big is it? It's
15 feet wide, 10 feet, and then 5 feet per level, and 10 to 20 feet deep, depending on if I roll a 1 or a 2.
okay. Go ahead and roll.
What did I do wrong there? TLG roll 1d2.
I have no idea. You can just roll a.
Yeah, I'll just roll a 6-sided. Low is 1, high is...
Oh, because you're using a slash, you have to use an exclamation point for TLG roll.
Got it. So it's only going to be 10 feet deep, but 1d6 damage. And then I'm going to try to get that ogre to smash on top of him.
Okay, so 10 feet deep. 15 feet wide, 10 feet deep, and how long is it?
It's permanent.
No, but I mean, so it's 15 feet wide and 10 feet deep, but
It's
is it
circumference.
circular?
It's
Yeah.
circumference.
Oh, okay, it's circular. All right. got it.
Circular, 15 feet in diameter.
Okay, 15 diameter. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So. Oh.
So I definitely wanted to get it right under his feet, like the majority of the circle. And since he's standing right next to the ogre, I want to catch at least half the body of the ogre so that it'll fall on top of him.
Yeah, done. Your sinkhole opens. Both of them fall into it. But you're too far away to see what happens.
Good.
So that's Trip. Gil and Garrick have not gone this turn.
The goblin does get a dexterity savings throw to avoid having...
Yeah.
Oh, no, never
I
mind.
rolled a 1.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
Garrick's
am I
gonna
wrong?
die
I
at that
miscounted.
goblin.
So I think everybody has actually gone. It might be time to roll initiative again.
Garrick hasn't gone, I don't think. Or did I push him off this turn? No, that was last turn.
No, it was last.
That was last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Garrick's
I was
gonna
right. So
dive
Gil and
into that
Garrick
hole.
haven't gone yet.
Yeah, Garrick's going to dive into that hole and go after that goblin.
That's what I want to hear.
Okay, so when you look into the hole, all you see is the ogre. You don't see the
No
goblin.
goblin at all? Then I will... I will bandage Bernie.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Do you roll a D2?
If there was a goblin there, I was going after the goblin instead.
Oh, I was fine too. No, I don't blame you.
No, because we
It would have been a 2 then.
You all know. So those of you that are sort of looking out around, in other words, Elgar and all the townsfolk up there, and then Leonise and Gil who are looking around, and probably Trip as well, although Trip just caused the sinkhole to occur, so maybe not. You notice that the goblins are turning and running away.
Disappeared.
Okay, let them run.
Yeah, you should start putting out fires if we can. Getting townspeople to help as well.
Yeah.
Well, let's make sure the goblin's dead.
That's great. Yeah, someone should probably climb down.
I'll start running down the steps.
Well, Leonese will start helping put out the fires.
Okay. So you can start making a bucket brigade if you want to try to do that. I mean, there's ample water from the river, but basically everything is on fire on this side of the river. On the other side, several of the buildings that are near the river are also on fire, including the little forested area on the other side. So I can mark this up with some more red. So this is all on fire. This is all on fire. These warehouses were burnt from before, right? All of this is on fire. All of these docks are gone.
Are the bridges on fire at all?
The bridges are not on fire. Oops. But you note that any of the wooden buildings that are near where the water was are all on fire. Some of these other houses over here, this is on fire. This is all on fire. This up here is all on fire. All of this stuff is all burnt out, right? So anything wooden, I mean, this siege went on long enough to create a situation where pretty much any wooden structure has been lit on fire and probably has burnt to the ground if it was small. If it was large or well reinforced with stone, it hasn't been burnt. So what that means is, in practical terms, this dorm of the abbey has been burnt, but the abbey itself is only partially damaged because it's made of stone. Mm-hmm. The majority of the housing in town that was made of wood has been burnt, but anything made of stone, like the castle, things in the graveyard, the watchtower, the lighthouse, that's not burnt. Okay, but most of the wooden structures are burnt or actively burning at this point.
All right, is Garrett going to jump in the hole to see if the goblin's dead?
After he's done bandaging Bernie, he will.
I'll jump in the hole and see if I can see any trace of smushed goblin underneath.
You see no trace of smushed goblin whatsoever.
I'm going to search the ogre to see if he has any belongings on him.
Okay, so let me...
I'll ask where the goblin is when I get there.
Yeah, I think he's under this giant ogre. Would you come down and help me move it?
Is there a pool of goo?
Well, no, but the ogre's fairly large.
I just gotta make some rolls here real quick, sorry. Yeah, you can try to move the ogre away if you want to see what's under him.
Well, Trip is a little weak, but if somebody will come down and help me out, yeah, that'd be great.
Linny's is busy kind of tampering fires. Best she can. But we'll send one of the townsfolk to help you.
So, I guess there's nothing.
Say that again.
I will cast Cure Light on Bernie.
Okay.
For 4 points.
So, Bernie, you get 4 points back, plus whatever you got from the bandages, either 1 or 2.
Okay. So I'm positive at least now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Also, remember you had 4 potions that were tucked inside that amphora. Remember that?
Who has those?
I don't know.
Did anybody take those potions?
Well, they took the amphora.
Yeah, whoever took the amphora had it.
And Leonise knew what they were upon visual inspection. That's how obvious they were. So you might have passed them out. You know.
I didn't see them. I think they were staying in the amphora.
Yeah. That means they're probably still in the amphora. Okay, so the only thing you find on the ogre is a little, well, it's little to the ogre, but it's a medium-sized sack to Trip, and it has a bunch of gold coins in it.
I will grab the sack and then call down for some townspeople to help me roll this big behemoth over so we can look underneath it.
Okay.
Keep in mind, it is stuck in a sinkhole.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a big hole.
Yeah, 15-foot diameter is pretty big.
Yeah, so...
Nice thing, you buried it for them. All they got to do is fill it in.
So there it is. So there's the sinkhole. So they'll climb down and do whatever you instruct them to do.
All right.
Or you want them
Roll
to...
the ogre onto its side.
Okay. They do that. Some straining.
Is any sign of the goblin or the goblet?
Sorry.
Crafty goblin that used a sinkhole to escape. Hey, that's what Garrick saw.
Sorry. Work text. So what did you say? Sorry.
Is there any sign of the goblin or the goblet?
No sign of the goblin or the goblet at all. In fact,
He's gone!
The basket that he had been in is gone as well. There is no basket there.
Oh.
So that ogre had a big sack?
Yeah, it had a medium-sized sack.
A medium-sized sack.
Yeah, full of coins.
Full of coins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, full of coins. Okay.
Yeah, so to the ogre, it's kind of like a belt pouch, right? But the ogre's really big, so it's like a medium-sized sack to you guys.
Okay. Oh, well. Well, I think I got some bags in there. Yes, I have 2 large sacks in my backpack. So I'm going to start gathering my stuff up and putting it in my bags, my sacks.
Okay, like what are you?
I'm sure.
What do you mean gathering stuff up? What are you gathering?
He
you mean
cut my backpack open and
yeah.
I got my shaving kit, my fishing gear, my hammer, my wedge, my whetstone.
Yeah, he did destroy your backpack. That is true. Okay, I get it. Sorry, I wasn't following. I forgot that. Yes, he destroyed your backpack, and you are now...
Darn blue goblin! He's gonna pay for that. And he stole my good drinking mug too.
Didn't strange things happen to you when you drank out of that one?
I don't know. I never drank out of it.
Okay, so other than the townsfolk that you have with you, you don't see anybody else out and about. I mean, because of course the town is burning and there were goblins there. The goblins, by the way, they literally turned and started running off. Like, just a few moments after the sinkhole opened, they kind of stopped and looked around and looked at all the fires and looked at you all and went, "Oh crap," and ran.
Let's go to the...
Are they running all over the place? Or are they running like an organized kind of way, or are they just...
They're running organized only in so much as they're trying to get out of town as soon as possible. So some of them ran towards the open gate next to the watchtower. Some of them are running towards the river. Some of them that are up in the northern part of town already are running out of town. You can see them on the other side running out away from the main portion of town.
Okay, got it.
Well, let's have the townspeople with us. Like, have one of them go to the Abbey, try and gather any acolytes on who's still alive there to try and start putting out fires. Have the postmaster go run over to his area and rally anyone he can, and we can all start to just try and rally the troops and get water buckets and get a brigade going and find anybody, if there's any of the guard left or anyone else.
We should head up to the...
Maybe the postmaster or the butcher go to the Baron.
Yeah.
I don't know, whoever's considered the higher office in the town.
The portmaster actually is a member of the official guard, so he's actually got an official...
Are the buildings on fire even worth putting the flames out, or are they past the point of salvage?
I mean...
Probably, but...
Yeah, many of the smaller ones are just past the point of salvage.
But it might make the townspeople feel better to try, so...
Yeah. And I mean, the 3 big buildings right there, those tenements, those were some of the first buildings to be set alight. So they're basically gone. And those are like big apartment buildings. So lots of people lost their houses today.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest part would be...
Where's the Great Baron now?
Master Elliot, Master Helliot, go let the Baron know that we've routed the goblins.
I mean, what's he going to do? Finally come out of his hole?
Hold on. George, what were you saying?
I think our biggest concern is to stop buildings from burning at this point. What's burning is going to just burn down. So let's just make sure that any buildings are brushing the hot coals off of them and throwing water on just to stop them from burning. That's our...
Right.
Okay.
Direct the people in town to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can make that happen. So Bernie, you don't want to go send the portmaster to the Baron?
I don't care what the portmaster does. I'm just saying that I wouldn't go running to the Baron like he's going to help anybody or be able to do anything. He's pretty weak, pretty helpless. I don't even know why you people pay any attention to the Joker.
Did Reckman's house burn down?
No one knows.
We don't know yet. That's out of town.
So I'm either headed to Reckman's house to get a night's rest or headed to the Baron's castle to get a night's rest.
Well, which one?
Why don't we just take the Baron's castle? Make it ours.
Garrick is going to talk to Portmaster Helliot and tell him to go let the Baron know that the goblins have been routed so he can start...
He can pretend like he actually did something.
Yes, Bernie, he can pretend like he's in charge, because he is.
He ain't in charge of anything.
Well, Bernie, you can visit the dungeon cells and you can I'm sure he will listen to you. But the rest of us are going to worry about just saving the town. And I, at some point, need to go find out if my family is still alive.
That's important. I don't blame you. I wouldn't worry about the damn Baron.
So what did you have that the goblin wanted from you?
That's a good question. I have no idea what he is. What's going on with that, Bernie?
Well, I don't know why he wanted it. It was just a kind of fancy drinking glass we found in a dungeon.
Bernie, what are you doing? You're trying to misdirect all of our attention to the Baron, and yet you're the one they're after.
Evidently not.
You may not want to hang around town, my friend. My kind of distant friend now, actually.
Oh, ouch. Fine. I gotta go train anyway. You say there's a town south of here?
I mean, there are towns. There's a town to the south. There's a town to the east. There's a capital to the north. There's two towns.
Which one's closest?
On your regional maps, there are two towns to the north of you that are within travel of a couple of days, and then there's the capital.
What about by boat?
Depends on the size of the boat. What are you trying to find?
Oh, I got that rowboat down there. Mm-hmm. Leonis, you want to go train, don't you?
Leonis needs to go train, but she's kind of like, well, we need to find someone here. But definitely need to go train.
Okay. If Leonis doesn't want to go, I'll go by myself. We got that boat back down on the river. I'll go get in that, and I'll take off for the nearest town.
How big are those towns compared to Indelofen?
I don't know.
Indelofen is actually a town, and those are all villages. Okay. So other than the capital...
I thought you said the capital.
That's north. That's not by boat. I mean...
Oh, that's north, not by boat. Oh, okay. I'll take off north into the capital. I thought it was up the coast.
You could take the river, technically, I suppose, if you wanted to go by boat. If you take a smaller boat.
Would it be the Westlark River?
Oh, yeah, that boat's small enough to go up the river. I'll go up the river then.
Hi, Bernie.
Hey, give me some of those ogre coins. Let's count that up before I leave.
Are you going to share the coins with him?
He doesn't even know I have any ogre coins. I don't even...
Yeah, I know, man. I asked why I could have the ogre bag, and everyone said, no, it's full of coins. I know there's coins in the bag.
You didn't know me, bro. You were getting bandaged while Trip was in the hole looking for the goblin. Nobody came in to help him except some townspeople. So Trip is the only one who knows he's got a bag of coins. And I'm passing some out to the townspeople, so they shut their mouth. How many coins are in the bag, Samuel? I mean, do we need to sleep the night to figure that out, or?
No, you can sit and count them.
I mean, I don't want to.
Are you going to do that in front of Bernie, or what?
Oh, I'm headed to the Abbey to set up a triage center and like a little refugee site, and maybe get a good night's sleep.
Okay.
So Trip is headed to the Abbey.
To the Abbey or to the House of St. Luther?
I'm going to the Abbey because it looks like it's made out of stone and it's nice and close.
Okay.
And you're going to take all the coins and not let anyone else know about them?
Nobody knows I got any coins. I mean, if you come with me, then you'll know.
No, I'm going to go to my homestead to see if my family's alive, but it's an interesting point to understand. Cool.
Okay. Well, since I don't know about them, I'm going to leave.
Okay.
Take my stuff that I got. I'm going to go get that boat, and I'm going to go up the river.
All right. So Bernie's going up the river to the capital. The capital is several days' travel away, right? Because it's in a whole different region.
Okay.
All right. So Bernie goes up to the capital. What's everyone else doing? I mean, I know what Trip is doing.
Elgar is going to follow Reckmit at least to his house, and then head over to the Temple of St. Luther, where I probably belong. You know what I mean? I'll help a friend.
Well, if you're going to go with Garrick to see if our homestead is still there, we could go by St. Luther first. And if the portmaster wasn't going to go to the Barrens, I'd say we'd stop by there as well. But I figure the portmaster is probably a better person to send there.
Hey, Bracknell, before I leave, or Garrick, before I leave, was there gold that we had not divided yet?
There's 3 gems that we found in the bottom of that well. So remember, we found one.
Yeah, I know we found
huge,
those.
One big, huge aquamarine and 2 medium ones. And then we have the old copper and old gold coins that are buried at Reckmit's house.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I going to need to train? I guess I should ask that because I may not have enough.
You need... I should have this. Let me just make sure I don't want to tell you the wrong number.
Yeah, I don't remember you saying anybody else needed to paint a train.
Oh yeah, I don't know if Bert.
Yeah, it costs money to train.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, I don't know that anybody that's already training would have enough to pay for training.
Well, it's because, at first level, it's kind of like you're basically begging for somebody to teach you their skills. It's not so much about the huge amount of money. It's something like 100 gold. It's not a big deal. And I kind of hand waved it, Let me just make sure I have it noted right here.
And when Trip climbs out of the hole, I mean, the goblin's gone, and the only thing I found on the ogre was a sack of coins.
Sack of coins are always useful. Just saying.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to cost you 100 gold to train from first level to second level.
Okay.
And it takes 1 week.
Any of us has gathered 100 gold yet from all of our exploits.
I mean, you have lots of valuable things. You just haven't sold it, or
Yeah, we haven't cashed the gold coins in yet.
Right.
The old ones.
You've done a lot of
how much coin is in that bag?
Well, if you want to come with me to the Abbey, we can count them, or I can reach my hand in and give you a small gnome hand right now for your travels.
Small gnome
I guess
hand.
I'll go. I don't know what you want me to go to Abbey for, but fine. I don't have any problem going to the Abbey.
I need sleep. I must replenish my spells. It's almost midnight.
Leonese will come with you because, yes, you mentioned sleep and spells. She'll come.
We need to set up some kind of refugee area for all the people that would be displaced.
Okay, so sorry. Okay, so it's getting to the point where we should probably end this session. So what I need to know is, what are you doing next in terms of... So I know now what Trip is doing. Trip is going to go to the Abbey and try to set up a triage. What's Bernie actually doing?
Well, and Bernie, if he has the money to train, he's going to go train. I mean, he'll go to the Abbey because he needs the gold.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not concerned about the money to train, right? Like,
okay.
That's not... I mean, so that's something that you'll either owe that person or you work it off in sweat labor or whatever, right? Like, that's... At this low level, I'm not concerned about that. So if Bernie wants to go off and find somebody to train, it's better to start...
I mean, I may wait till morning. I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I guess it is night, and we are tired, and I am hurt, so I'll go help them set up whatever they're wanting to set up.
Okay. Okay, so Trip and Bernie are going to the Abbey.
Leonese
I'll
will
go to
too,
the Abbey.
because Leonese needs to go and train, so she'll go and help and then get a rest. Then go train.
I think Elgar and Garrick were going to go to St. Luther's, at least the first, and then I don't know what Elgar was going to do, if he was going to stay there, but Garrick was going to go and check out if the Sourbeard homestead still exists, if his family's alive, and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't really care about gold, so he cares more about the lives of his family and the rest of the town.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to go to St. Luther's first, though, with Elgar.
Yep.
Okay.
So Elgar can stop there and do what he's got to do or whatever.
What's Gil doing?
Gil is gonna start kind of pulling aside townspeople and asking if they've heard anything about halfling refugees from Halfhill. And presuming he does or doesn't, whatever he gets information-wise, he's gonna then go to the Abbey and help set up, at least until the morning, with the intention of setting out the next day towards Halfhill.
Okay. Okay. So I think that's a good place to end it. I will tell you that when you start looking around and you see the more easterly portion of town where the moneylender is, where the town hall is, the House of St. Luther, and the Baron's Castle, none of those things are destroyed. Okay, none of those are destroyed. In fact, Lady Helen's tea house is not destroyed, but all the buildings around it are. So all of these
Now,
here.
Are the buildings that are left stone, or are there some of those wooden too?
All the money lenders, money exchanger, and the two houses opposite it, right here. These are all wooden. The town hall is wooden. The Good Night is damaged. It's wooden and it's damaged, but somebody worked together to put the fire out. The House of St. Luther is stone and wood, and Lady Helen's tea house is mostly wood, but it has some stone reinforcement.
Interesting.
Does Lady Helen's look damaged, or does it look like the fire didn't touch it at all?
We don't need to kill this Baron.
It looks a little bit damaged. It looks like, I mean, all of the places look damaged. Like they did go through some shit, right? I mean, they had to fight off some invaders and whatnot, right?
It's more likely a result of they just hadn't gotten that far yet when they found Bernie's illicit whatever.
All right. So, how many coins are in this bag, Samuel?
230 gold.
All right, 230 gold. Divided by how many are there of us? 5 or 6?
6.
6.
So we just make it 2
Is,
40 and make it.
Yeah,
40 each.
38 gold apiece.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I'm gonna give Leonese 38, and the other I'm gonna give Gil 38 and Ernie 38, and then I'll keep the other 2 shares for when I see them next. I'm gonna donate 10. I'm gonna donate 10 of my share to the Abbey, and then I'm gonna help them set up some kind of. Is there anybody at the Abbey?
There are a bunch of people that came from, like a bunch of the people who weren't the fishermen and the people up in. So the area where the Willem's Finery is and all that stuff, those were the people on the one boat. And then the other boats were some of the people sort of on the southern portion from that. And all the fishermen that are down in Fishtown that got their houses burnt down. That's who was on the boats. Everybody else in town either went to the castle or the Abbey, as far as you can tell. So there's a bunch of people in there. Most of them are just really scared, and they're all in the Abbey proper rather than the dormitories because those got burned down. So the goblins were up there trying to break in. There are some dead townsfolk and whatnot, so this wasn't a completely just structural damage. There are some dead townsfolk up there that were trying to either make it to the Abbey or fight off the goblins.
So maybe if we can find the abbess and get an audience with him, tell him kind of what happened in the town, tell them that they're going to need to set up a refugee camp, donate a little bit of gold, and see if we can get a place to sleep for the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're as welcome as any other townsperson to throw a blanket down or grab a blanket from the supply, and yeah, because.
All right, then that is what I will do.
Yeah.
So Bernie will grab some sleep, and first thing in the morning, early, he's going to wake up and at dawn, get down there, get that boat, and head north.
Okay.
And I'll go to Half Hill with Gil. But I'd say to Gil, should we go check on Reckmit to see if his farm was okay?
Well, yeah. So
Garrett?
we're not doing that yet. So that'll probably be next session that we figure out what happened to the farms.
Well, we probably should send a messenger to go get the Willems and have them come back to town. Go out the old people getting all catching cold down by the beach.
Yeah. Yeah. So so let's do a little discussion here. About the fact that this group is extremely mercenary in nature.
I think it has to do with the fact that we're all first level, and some of us just met some of the other ones, so we don't have a real strong bond or connection to them yet.
Right.
And everybody kind of we're all definitely an opinionated group with our own ideas. And I don't think we've really found a way to incorporate those ideas into teamwork yet.
Mm-hmm. It was a bit surprising to me that some of you were so readily willing to just leave and not defend the town.
I mean, I wanted to leave because there's 5 of us, level 1, against an army of goblins, from what you made it sound like. Mm-hmm. With an ogre and an eldritch goblin. And from the talk, eldritch goblins are supposed to be super tough. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't think that 5 first-level guys can kill a whole army of goblins and an ogre. And so I was ready to go to Half Hill.
And to be honest, I don't know if any of the other ones have a tie to the town. Only Garrick would really be like, "This is my town. I can't leave." It's why I was like, "Hey, if they leave, I'm still going to stay here," and he'll sacrifice himself. Because as much as I'd hate to see him die, I think that would have been the way to go. I don't remember exactly what Elgar's tie is to the town. I know he was something with the House of St. Luther, but I can understand why they were like, we don't want to go in there and just sacrifice ourselves for no reason. But
I mean, Bernie is a mercenary. I mean, he just came up here to fight things, kill them, and take their stuff. but he grew up in an area that was rife with this kind of activity, and the orcs, the goblins, they come in, they take towns, they burn them. You wait a few days, they'll wander on to the next town, and you can get your town back.
Mm-hmm.
So he just didn't see any big rush to get in there. The goblins were going to leave once they were done. Looked like everybody was escaping, so...
Other than that place where... most...
Chris, you're breaking up. I can't quite hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I think your microphone on your headset is pointed.
Oh, thank you. How about that? Is that better?
There you go. Yes, better.
Yes.
Oh, yes. It does help if I put my... So, yeah, but I mean, none of us have any real, other than the locals, but most of us don't have any ties to this place.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there were a lot of goblins.
Yeah.
At least from what we could see. Now, once the townsfolk came along, and suddenly we went from 5 to, 13? That makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, when me and Gil left, I didn't know we were going to find a group of townspeople. Everybody looked like they were bailing. The town's half burnt at least.
Yeah.
Hey, why would we go rushing into that? It seemed like certain death. And Trip's purpose is to live, so...
And it's a town, and he's a druid. Why would he want to go into town?
I wasn't going to go in there.
Yeah.
Except they were burning your wood.
If Alex would have been here and he would have said, "Well, we're almost to half hill. I want to check it," I wouldn't have went back. I was like seriously debating, even if Leonese caught me, not to go back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, I thought everybody was going to go to Half Hill. Other than me, I thought maybe Garrick was going to try to convince everyone, no, we have to protect our hometown. But then everybody was going to say, we might be able to get Half Hill to help us come fight them, right? So I wasn't sure exactly what everybody was going to do. I was surprised that you were so mercenary. I'm not actually that surprised, but what I would like to know though, actually, is why is Bernie so against the Baron?
Oh, because he doesn't come from a place that has nobility. He comes from a place where it's the town elders, and they're chosen because they're respected, and they've old, and they've proved themselves, not just because they're the Baron.
Right, but you don't know if the Baron has actually proved himself or done anything worthwhile.
Well, I've asked people why. Because he's the Baron. Nobody said, because, in the 60 years he's been alive, he's proved himself wise, and he's proved himself to be a great warrior. And now here you come up the first time he's got a chance to prove himself to be a great warrior, and he hit in the hole. He should have been there fighting the ogre when we got there, if he's really all that.
Okay.
I think
it's just that's Bernie's character. I mean,
I think George got to him and corrupted him with his conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy. It's just he doesn't understand nobility and doesn't have any concept of that. And if he's a leader, the leaders in his town, they're out in the town square, and you know who they are, and you know why they're the leader, because they're the biggest, meanest guy around. And this guy's, everybody's afraid of him, but he's not out there. There's nothing to prove that he's anything to worry about.
Not necessarily afraid of him, but I understand your point. Sam, we need more background on the Baron.
Nobody has really asked very much. So anyway, yeah, I mean, all you know is that the rumors of of him wanting to expand the influence of Indelofen and make it larger, but that might be a little bit not so easily done now that half the town is burned, right?
Well, what are George and Alex's thoughts on the matter? You're muted, George.
I said I'll let Alex go first. Isn't that ironic? Go ahead, Alex.
So Gil's in an interesting position of being that he's from Half Hill, and so obviously going that way, he would have gone that way first. But I wasn't actually here, but the way I would have justified going back would have been like, okay, seeing that I hadn't seen any signs of survivors, hadn't seen anything like that, taking revenge would have been like the next priority. So coming back and taking out the goblins that way. But I still definitely want to go check on them, as soon as possible.
I tried to get us out of there, Alex, and then daggum Leonese has to come track us down. I was like, me and Gil are out of here. We're safe. We're gonna be the only two that live.
All right, what's George's thought, or what's Elgar's thoughts?
Then your friendly elf comes along and says, "Hey, come back."
Elgar wanted to save the town. Alignment-wise, he's very good. He wants to, this is just simply wrong to have these people killed. And I think I mentioned it in chat at one point that, this is like a horrible destruction of a town. It's up in flames. Whether, I know the people or not, this is wrong. So he's like doing the greater good thing. We have to save the town, or at least help some of the people out of town, as opposed to, and I think that's the way I would role play it, and I tried to role play it, but, it's going into the town. And it was, kind of fearsome looking at, all these goblins and stuff, but, I think learning about it was our important step. Just going down to the shore, finding out what's actually happening, if we could. That was the right move.
And I think the other part that helped was when we learned that the goblins were kind of mindlessly hacking at the wall. So clearly they were somewhat enchanted as opposed to actively doing something. That was a huge turning point.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I was trying to give the impression that they were they had a particular purpose, and it wasn't necessarily to kill a bunch of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was based on instructions from another entity. So
right.
Yeah.
It's
like you have a mass charm person going on, and all the goblins are just like doing whatever he wants.
Yeah. So I will tell you as a precursor to next week's game that let me see. So it looks like let's see 12. Yeah. So basically Bert and Zeno are almost done with their training, and Bert is actually in a place that you all know about. Bert is actually in the Lady Helen's tea house.
Hope you didn't get burnt.
No, it's okay.
And so he's around town. Some of the homesteads you're going to find out did get burned. But Rekmit's homestead is well fortified because, they're dwarves that have lived there for ages and ages and a couple of generations now. So they have used the stone in the area to build up a nice set of fortifications where they can, I'm not saying there was no damage because the goblins tried to also go through and destroy crop rows and things like that. But but for the most part, the homestead is intact. Okay, so
Thank you for not letting me sweat another week.
So the town was obviously had particular targets that were being taken out in or at least in a particular pattern. Okay, the abbeys, the fact that the acolyte dorms at the abbey were one of the first truly destroyed area, and then all of the poor people's houses like the tenements and the fishermen houses, those are the two things that went down really quick. Okay, and everything else kind of was secondary. And you can tell after the sort of smoke clears, when you wake up in the morning and you can see in broad daylight, you can see sort of what happened. You can see the pattern that they had as they went through the town and what they were doing. and all that. So, but it's a mess. It's a mess. You know, at least half of every little stand of trees, at least half of it is burned, and most of the wooden buildings in town are burned. And the death toll is not extremely high. There are a few people that have perished, but not like what you would expect. If they actually raided the town to kill people, it would have been different. It's pretty obvious they were looking for something.
And we provided it.
Question is do we get XP from returning to a burnt town?
Yes, you do. Well, so I gave you an XP total last time, right? So let me give
last
you...
time we had 583.
Yep. So let me give you the new one. So this is going to be... Let me do some math real quick. Chat amongst yourselves.
Myself momentarily.
Was the 583 from last session, that was given out before? I'm trying to figure out if I have that counted in my total or not.
530 is 538.
530.
And it's let's see. It looks like
there was a 293 as well.
Yeah, 293 was session 11 and 538 was session 12. And so Gil, I have your total at 1328.
Yep, that's what I got. Cool.
That's with the 538. So let's see here. This looks like it's going to be that. Oh, that's yeah. We'll just do some math.
If Bernie tells us, Bernie or Leonise are the only two that would know about that goblet. If they tell us what's up with that goblet, then we might be able to surmise that it's needed for some kind of ritual, which is why the blue goblin wanted it so bad.
Yeah,
well, I mean, I'll tell you what I know about it. We were down in this complex where we thought probably some people from Narrheit, the Narrheit people were. And we killed them and we got in the back way to this room that was probably like for the priests of Narrheit. And it was in there. And the cleric that was with us knew that it was a very powerful item, or felt was a very powerful item, but he was afraid to touch it. So I picked it up, put it in my backpack, and figured we'd, find out what it was maybe one of these days. Now we may have found out it was, but it's back in their hands.
All right. Pretty much what it was. It was a goblet of some power is what we knew.
So maybe as we're headed to Half Hill, we can see if we can catch one of these roving goblins that are running around the countryside now, and where he came from, and maybe find out where this blue goblin is based up.
So your total for today is 382.
Okay. And where does that leave us number-wise?
So let me do some quick math. So Bernie, that leaves you at 2869. Leonise
should be 3550.
I might have one missing on yours then. I have it. Oh yeah, I do. 3550. That's right. And then Gil. Gil should be 1710.
Yep.
Trip.
2,983.
How much?
2,983.
1760.
That's not what I had.
Trip's only been in let me see. Let me count trips up real quick again.
Oh.
Yeah, Trip was in session 9 and earned 212. Session 10 earned 235. Session 11 earned 293. Session 12 earned 538. And this past session earned 382.
How did I get so far off?
I don't know. And then Garrick is at 675. And then Bernie actually gets that. So Bernie, you're actually at 2919.
2919.
And Gil, you're actually at 1760.
Got it. 1660. Yep.
Yeah, but plus 100 for your recaps, so 1760 total.
Oh, that's experience until next level is what I was looking at. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, it's okay. Okay. So I think that's gonna end it for us. We'll be back next week. So if you want to find out what happens next week, where if they find out where Bert and everybody's going, see if Bernie ends up going up to the Capitol to find some training, or if he stays in town, and to see what Gil finds at Half Hill and what Garrick finds at his homestead. Tune in, same time, same place. That is 7 p.m. Eastern on the Troller Games Twitch channel. And so with that, I think we will say goodbye.
Good night, folks.
See you guys.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you
See you
for
later.
watching.
Good night.